Well, well, well. 2 more days before the draft. And I'm sorry, I'm just telling y'all, maybe I'm just built different. I am mock draft out by so many people. But all these different solutions of what they think the Cowboys should do, we're going to talk about that some today. We got a show, we got a very interesting show today. We only got 3 topics. We're going to deal with this issue of people talking about this Denver Broncos trade. Y'all going to have to help me out. Maybe I'm crazy. The Denver Broncos trade, it makes no sense. I don't even get why people would even be encouraging the Dallas Cowboys to do such a thing. And, you know, it's for so many people who really talk about Jerry and Steven and crazy stuff that they say that Jerry and Steven do. The moves that people are talking about the Cowboys should make, I think they would be crazy to make these moves. They don't make sense. But we're going to talk about this Denver trade, and I may not change your mind, but I'm just going to tell you where I am on it. It don't make any kind of sense. And then we're going to listen to the pre-draft presser that Jerry, Steven, Will McClay, and Brian Schottenheimer gave today. I thought it was pretty interesting for the most part. I think that they are kind of playing it close to the vest, not really trying to divulge a lot about what they're trying to do in the draft, which I think is absolutely smart. I do think the Cowboys are using some smoke and mirrors. I really do. I don't think the Cowboys are trying to let on to anybody what they're going to do, even though I'm going to take a stab in the dark at what I believe they're going to do. And then any kind of miscellaneous news that might come up or something that I may see. But I plan to be out of here about 7 o'clock, trying to get the studio ready, trying to get in. No, I'm not trying. I am going to be in the new studio, back in the studio Thursday, and I'll put out a flyer tomorrow, sometime tomorrow, about the draft party we're going to have, but you guys already know. But I'll be talking about the draft party tomorrow, and I don't know if I'm going to call it a draft party this year. I mean, I'm just trying to get the studio together. But what we're going to be doing for the draft, we're definitely going to cover the entire draft, and I hope all of you are with me. And we're going to figure out some things that we're going to be doing, and I'll announce all of that tomorrow. I know I should have had all this out, but again, y'all got to forgive me. I got other stuff that I'm doing too. But again, if the Lord is willing, we're going to be dedicating a lot more time to this as we continue to go on. All right. So let me get some greetings in, and then we're going to get into this show again, because I got to get out of here by 7 o'clock. Again, I got some stuff that I got to take care of as far as the studio goes. All right, let's get that roll call, and then we're going to get right into our first topic for the day. Let's get it. Man, I've been gone for a couple days, plus I got a cold. Man. The dude, what's up? Dak owns filthy. He said in a wrench. Yes, sir. Hit that like button. I agree with you, Dak owns filthy. Let's go. Yes, sir. Lonnie Cabal, what's going on with you? Bleeding Blue. Yes, sir. How about them boys? LaQueen, always good to see you in the chat. What's going on? D Hawks, what's up? Man, D Hawks, boy, I'm ready for this draft too. He said my top 3, because my top 3 picks that would set us up for success is Ted Henderson and Anthony Collins. Oh yeah, plus Gilmore at the start of the day. Hey man, y'all might not remember. Man, I was already talking about Gilmore. Boy, I hope they got Gilmore. What's going on? Josh Carson. He said, I'm a Dak fan. Yeah, I don't know what else to tell you. I'm a Cowboys fan, but I got a little quarterback too. Katharina Kiss, good afternoon. What's going on with you? Dustin Roberts, what up? Yes, sir. Cowboys Nation. Gary Bookwalter in the crib. Intelligent Savage, my man. What up with you? Yes, sir. David J. Yes, sir. Hiya. Mr. J, what up? What up to you? Yes, sir. At the gym. Yes, sir. Let's get it in, Mr. J. All right, the dude. He said, I hit that like button already. Good to go. All right, let's get into our first topic. Quack, quack. What up, what up? He said from Southern Arkansas. Let's go, boys. Yes, sir. All right, let's get into our first topic because this Jerry video is about an hour. So we'll see what it do. Kelvin Hicks in the crib. What's going on with you?
Yes! Here we go!
Let me address this story. Y'all tell me what y'all think. I just can't. Athlon Sports is reporting this, man. And I know right now people are looking for stories. I cannot get with this Courtland Sutton story. I do not understand this story. It makes literally no sense to me. And I know a lot of people are saying that the Cowboys may trade back. And y'all remember we were talking about this whole thing about the Courtland Sutton. Let me make sure I say his name right. Courtland Sutton. Y'all know we had already discussed this even last week about the Cowboys trading back. I don't have a problem with the Cowboys trading back. I don't have a problem with the Cowboys trading with the Denver Broncos. But I also don't think that if the Cowboys are going to trade back, do not trade the Denver Broncos a player. You trade the Denver Broncos and you get draft capital. You get draft capital. And I'm telling you, I think the Pittsburgh Steelers trade is more appealing in some respects than the Denver Broncos trade. But if I'm the Cowboys, I'll be honest with you. If I was the Dallas Cowboys, the reality is the Cowboys should just stand pat. Man, you have the number 12 pick in the draft. You're not going to get the number 12 pick in the draft again. You draft number 12 in all 7 rounds. And I'm sure the Cowboys are probably thinking the same thing. You do not trade back unless there is absolutely no one there that can immediately help this team. Because I want y'all to think about this. This isn't just about getting a wide receiver. This is about getting an impact player. And you're not going to be at this position again. So do not let one of these top 12 players get away from you. The Cowboys cannot commit this mistake. It would be a mistake for the Cowboys to not take advantage of this number 12. And if you are going to go back, don't tie up any money into another player. And this is the part that has really been irking me about the Courtland Sutton conversation. So, Courtland Sutton, let's look at his contract first. This is the part that's irking me about the Courtland Sutton conversation. First things first. Let me show you this too. Let me show you how people people are just so disingenuous when it comes to these conversations about these players. Look at this right here. Somebody says Courtland Sutton is only 29 years of age. Only? When did we start calling 29 years of age for a wide receiver only? Only? We're not talking about DK Metcalf. We're talking about Courtland Sutton. Let me tell you right now, DK Metcalf is better than the top 4. And let me put some respect on Travis Hunter's name, even though he don't need to be in the conversation, because we're not getting Travis Hunter. The top 5 wide receivers. DK Metcalf is better than the top 5 wide receivers in this draft. There's a reason why he got paid to go to Pittsburgh. He's better than the top 5 wide receivers. Can we say, without a shadow of a doubt, Courtland Sutton at 29 years of age is better than the top 5 wide receivers in this draft? When we start talking about Courtland Sutton, we know what he is. There is no more upside at 29. By 29, you are what you are now. It don't mean you're not good, but you are what you are. I understand. Courtland Sutton is a 6'4", 200+ pound wide receiver. I understand what Courtland Sutton is. I think someone's been saying he's from the Dallas area. But again, let's stop acting like he's only 20. Only 29? Not only is he only 29, as some of these people are arguing. This is the other part that's actually insane to me. Do we not see Courtland Sutton's $20 million cap hit? Courtland Sutton, $20 million. Now, someone says, well, we can just rework that deal and just start throwing money all back and spread the money over the life of the contract. So you're telling me we're going to sign Courtland Sutton. And let me see here. So Courtland Sutton will be 30 years of age, October the 10th, one day after my birthday. Courtland Sutton will be 30 years of age this season. 30. And someone says, we're going to rework his deal and have him for the life of his career. Who wants Courtland Sutton until he's 33 or 34 years old? So you actually think that if we sign Courtland Sutton, just because you're going to spread this money out, because you have to unless you're going to do him for a $20 million rental, which is literally insane. And for someone who says the Cowboys are trying to win now, yes, they're trying to win now, but you're not. Okay, guys, can we be honest? Okay, we're trying to win now, but I don't think anyone believes we're going to the Super Bowl in Brian Schottenheimer's first year as a coach. Don't get me wrong. It's not like we don't want that to happen. But do we really believe in Brian Schottenheimer's first season we're going to the bowl game? I believe we're going to the playoffs. I do not believe we're going to the bowl game. But if we go to the bowl game, amen, great. We all know we're not doing that this year, or the chances of that happening are not really great. And I hope I'm proven wrong. Courtland Sutton is not a Dallas Cowboy pick. Man, when these wide receivers hit that 30 years of age and they get at the end of these contracts, you better understand this is exactly why these teams do these contracts like that. Because when these guys hit 30 years old, they hit that 30-year mark, these guys don't want to pay them. They don't want to. Do we not understand people crying for the Cowboys to get Courtland Sutton? Do we not understand the Denver Broncos don't want Courtland Sutton? Courtland Sutton has been up on the trade block for what, 2 years now? The Denver Broncos don't want Courtland Sutton. The Denver Broncos are trying to get younger. Do y'all know what the Denver Broncos are going to do if we trade the Denver Broncos and swap the number 20 for the number 12? They're going to go get a young wide receiver. What? They don't want to pay Courtland Sutton. Okay, so this year, $20 million. So what is he going to take for the next 3 to 4 years? $3 million? I bet you he's not. Courtland Sutton is not taking $3 to $4 million over the next 3 or 4 seasons. And even if you were to renegotiate that deal and spread that 20 over another 3 to 4 years, so you're going to pay Courtland Sutton, let's say we're going to tie up, what, $40 or $50 million into Courtland Sutton? Explain to me, why would you do this again? And it's not like Courtland Sutton. It's not like Courtland Sutton has been out here tearing the league up. It's not saying he's not good, but it's not like he's been out here tearing up the league. What are these people talking about? And then we say, keep it simple. This ain't simple. Y'all do realize that Courtland Sutton is not what you call for someone to say, keep it simple. Courtland simple, this ain't simple. Courtland Sutton is not simple. Why? Because you have to then decide when you get Courtland Sutton, are you going on a one-year deal and say, I'll just take the $20 million and cut him at the end of the season? Or are you saying we're going to get the $20 million and then we're going to offer him a 3 or 4 year extension and then we're going to spread that money out? So you're telling me you want to give Courtland Sutton $35, $40 million guaranteed? Why would we do that? Why would we do that? Y'all tell me in the chat. I'll take right now today, and this is not a knock on Courtland Sutton. This is smart football business. For the price of Courtland Sutton's $20 million deal, I will be able to get the best, or maybe I should say the second best, depending upon how you look at Travis Hunter. I will be able to either get the second, third, fourth, or fifth best wide receiver in this draft for the price of what I'm going to get Courtland Sutton for 1 year. I can get those dudes for 4 or 5 years. Totally control their career for 7 years. Explain to me again, why do I want Courtland Sutton? There is no way I would take Courtland Sutton over Ted McMillan. Why would I do that? Why would I take Courtland Sutton over Ted McMillan? I'm not doing it. I'm not taking Courtland Sutton over Matthew Golden. I'm not taking Courtland Sutton over Emeka Egbuka, and I'm not taking him over Luther Burden III. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. That's crazy work. And as much as I think the Pickens thing sounds good, I wouldn't even do that. If I'm the Cowboys, I would not do that. I'm making good on this number 12 pick. I'm making good on this number 12 pick. The only way that I'm trading that number 12 pick is that everybody who I want is not there. I mean, they're literally going to have to not be there. I mean, Ashton Jeanty, we know he's not going to be there. Now we're hearing that I heard this morning the Chicago Bears got interest in this man. I mean, I'm telling y'all, I knew this was going to happen to Ashton Jeanty once everybody kept saying that this guy is a generational talent, and if he is truly a generational talent. Was I not asking this question from the beginning? Why in the world would anybody let a generational talent pass him? Other than Cam Ward. There is not a team in this draft that should let Travis Hunter and Ashton Jeanty get past them. There's not a team in this draft. You go any, many, mighty, mo on those two players. You should not let those two players get past you because Travis Hunter is one of those types of players. He's a unicorn. Now I'm seeing people call him a unicorn. Who did you hear calling Travis Hunter a unicorn first if you've been watching this channel? I called Travis Hunter a unicorn long before anybody started calling him a unicorn as far as what I saw. I said it as early as last week, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. Travis Hunter is the unicorn in this draft. No team should let Travis Hunter get past them, and no team after Travis Hunter that if Ashton Jeanty is the way when people were acting when they saw him with his shirt off, oohing and ahhing and talking about he made in a factory. There's no running back close to him in this draft when this draft is loaded with good running backs. There's no way you can let Jeanty go past you either. So we know the Cowboys aren't getting Jeanty. You cannot settle for Courtland Sutton over any one of the top 4 wide receivers in this draft. If I'm the Cowboys, I'm sorry. I'm going quality over quantity. And I'm not trying to double up as in getting Cortland Sutton and then going back at number 20 and getting a Mecca or Luther Burden the third. Why? Simple. People are trying to call Stephen Jones cheap. No, I don't want to pay Cortland Sutton 35 guaranteed million. I don't want to pay him 40. I don't want to pay him a guaranteed 45, 50. I don't want that money wrapped up in Cortland Sutton. And again, explain to me why. Why do I want that money wrapped up in Cortland Sutton? It's not a knock on Cortland Sutton. And this is football business. I'm not wrapping up that kind of money in Cortland Sutton. I'm not doing it. I'll get Ted McMillan. And if Denver want to trade, oh, come on, trade. But I'm not taking on Cortland Sutton. I want more draft capital, Denver. I want more draft capital. How about you take our 12, we'll take your 20, and then we're going to take your third. How about that? We get to choose the player that we want. We don't want Cortland Sutton. I'm telling y'all, there are wide receivers all up and down and through this draft that the Cowboys can still double up on. If they were just to say, rather than getting Cortland Sutton and taking on $20 million, the Cowboys can say, you keep Cortland Sutton. That's your headache. That's your headache. You figure out how you're going to get rid of Cortland Sutton. But your draft pick, we'll gladly take your third-round draft pick. We'll take it, and we'll get what we want with it. No, don't take Cortland Sutton. This doesn't make sense. And people are trying to say Steven is cheap. This is not a cheap Stephen Jones thing. This just makes sense. Why am I tying up that kind of money in Cortland Sutton? I'm just not doing it. I'm not doing it. Y'all tell me what y'all think. Michael Mopar, what's going on? He says, let's trade for Pickens. Well, I'll tell you this. I almost like the Pickens trade better than the Cortland Sutton trade. I like that trade a little bit better. But I'm just being honest. You're not going to get 12 again. I'm just telling us, you're not getting 12 again. So if you're not getting 12 again, man, you better make this 12 count. And I'll be honest with you, if I was the Cowboys, and this is one of the reasons why I think they're probably not telling anybody what they're doing, again, the Cowboys seriously need to consider best player available. If Ted McMillan is not there, and if you don't think Matthew Golden, a lot of people don't think Amarion Hampton is worth the 12, if you don't think they're worth that, then get the best player available. I know we don't want to hear this. But if the best player available is an edge rusher, if the best player available is an offensive lineman, even though I believe the Cowboys think they already have their offensive line, you get the doggone best player available. And if you're going to trade back, why would you cut off your nose to spite your face? It's dumb to trade back and not take the draft capital rather than, why would you not take the draft capital but take a player instead? Why? Why take on $20 million you don't have to take on? I'm telling y'all something. Mark my words when I'm telling you. The Cowboys got big plans for Jonathan Mingo. I'm just telling you. The Cowboys got big plans for Jonathan Mingo. And for those of us who think that this dude is a cap guy, is a training camp guy, don't fool yourself about Paris Campbell. Don't fool yourself. The Cowboys are hoping Paris Campbell turn out, guys. I'm telling you, they do. Timothy Govin. Appreciate that $5 super chat. My girl Angie, what's going on? The Rebel Chicks. She said, I'm late to the party. You've been missed, big dog. Draft almost here. Yeah, I'm back at it. I appreciate you. Top five supporter, Angie. Appreciate you. Bleeding Blue. Yes, sir. He said, I think that's good. I think it's get good. But correct me if I'm wrong. But again, I'm going to read some of your your comments. Josh Corson, he says amen. Yes, sir. My man Wicked, what's going on? Alex, what's going on in the chat? Josh Corson, he said, good point, my brother. Yes, sir. Good. Gary Bookwalter, he's agreeing with me. He said, no. Man, ain't no way. Gary Bookwalter said, that's facts, G. Appreciate you. Let me see. Moko, he says, I don't have a problem trading back if we get a nice return. Replacement first and maybe a second or a third, or big chances Shador falling and someone trading us to get him. Now, see, Moko, that's what I'm talking about. Dallas don't take nobody castaways. People can tell me anything they want to about Cortland Sutton. Cortland Sutton is a Denver castaway. It doesn't mean that Cortland Sutton is not talented. They don't want him, y'all. They don't want him. Why? Because the Denver Broncos are getting younger. Do we not understand the Dallas Cowboys are getting younger? Dak Prescott has to be the oldest, or at least, second, third oldest player on the team. Everybody else is super young. Why would you get an older wide receiver? No. Get draft capital. Jerry Jones already said it. Draft capital is at a premium in this draft. I'm not trading you a draft and then say, I'll take a player. I don't want Cortland Sutton. We got a plan at wide receiver. There are too many good ones in here. Man, we got Dante Thornton back there in the third, fourth, or the fifth. We got Savion Williams back there in the third, fourth, or the fifth. Nah, man, we don't need Cortland Sutton. If Ted McMillan is there, get him. If you trade back, make sure you set yourself up to where you can either get Emeka Egbuka or Luther Burden III. I'll take both of them. Both of them. Matthew Golden. I'll take all three of them over Cortland Sutton. Why? Because the upside on those wide receivers. The upside on those wide receivers. And again, do not discount. The Cowboys think Jonathan Mingo. I'm going to tell y'all might not believe me, but I'm telling you, the Cowboys think Jonathan Mingo is going to be one of him. I'm telling you, they think he's going to be one of them. I guarantee you, if the Cowboys are smart, they're looking at Jonathan Mingo and they're saying, could he be better than Cortland Sutton? Could he? Could he be better than Cortland Sutton? Could he be equal to a Cortland Sutton? So if he could be the equal to Cortland Sutton, why would I want Cortland Sutton? When I got Jonathan Mingo. Understand this. The Cowboys drafted Tolbert. Brian Schottenheimer has already brought up Tolbert. Dak Prescott has already brought up Tolbert. And again, the step that we wanted Tolbert to take last year, maybe Tolbert takes it this year. He's not going to be the number 2. But if Tolbert is a solid number 3 or a solid number 4 or an alternating number 3, just telling you, they want Jonathan Mingo. They want Jonathan Mingo to be successful. And I will not be surprised if Jonathan Mingo challenges Jalen Tolbert for that number 2 spot. That number 3 spot. And Jonathan Mingo, who knows? You bring in this wide receiver. You bring in Ted. You bring in Golden. You bring in Burden. You bring in Emeka. Who's to say in their first season, maybe they're not the number 2. Maybe they're the number 3. Mingo could emerge on this team as the number 2. I'm telling you, people are knocking Jonathan Mingo. But I'm telling you, man, if you look at just a little bit of tape on him last year, it was not his fault on the Cowboys. He was not getting the ball. It was not his fault. I'm telling you, we're going to see what Mingo is with Dak Prescott. And this is the very reason why I'm saying, Cowboys, stand pat. If Ted McMillan isn't there, Ashton Jeanty is not going to be there. Only trade back for draft capital. Don't trade back for players. I don't care. You know what? Everyone's entitled to their opinion. I'm not listening to these football gurus. I'm just not listening to them on this. They're probably not listening to me. That's fine. I have respect for everyone's opinion. I'm not listening to this stuff. It don't make sense. And then we're like criticizing Steven, like, yeah, this move is too rich for Steven. Too rich for Steven? We all ought to be thinking, why are we going to give a 30-year-old wide receiver? We're not giving him $35, $40 million guaranteed. He's already guaranteed $20 million, it looks like. He's already guaranteed $20 million when you look at his salary. So you're going to, if you extend him, you're not going to have a choice but to at least guarantee him on top of the 20. You're at least going to have to guarantee him, what, another 15 to 20? No, thank you. No, thank you. That is not how I'm approaching this draft. If I'm the Cowboys, I'm not. Intelligent Savage says, and when we get Gilly, give him back the number 21, please, and return cost 41. Yes, sir. Hey, Intelligent Savage, man, I've been screaming for this man Gilmore. I already said it. I would not be mad if the Cowboys bring back Gilmore. Would not be mad. I wouldn't do it. Katharina Kiss, she said, hit that like button. I'm with you. Bleeding Blue, he said, Jerry Jones just missing with you guys' head. He's going to do something, but God only knows what. Bleeding Blue, let me tell you something. I can tell you unequivocally, I think the Cowboys are using a smoke screen. Timothy Jackson, appreciate that $10 super chat. I tell you what I think the Cowboys are doing. I think the Cowboys are being very careful about telling people what they're doing. I think they're trying to be very careful, even though some people believe that Jerry Jones may have kind of let out of the bag what the Cowboys are going to do. I just think they're being very careful. I don't think they want to tell anybody. But, yeah, throw out trading back as a possibility. You know what? The only reason, let me tell you guys. There is something called strategy. There is something called strategy. You don't always tell people you're going to trade back because you're going to trade back. But you do tell people you're going to trade back because you might want to see who want to trade up. That's what you're trying to figure out. I said this before. You got to smoke people out. You have to start talking about, okay, yeah, man, yeah, you know, we might trade back. Because first dog bark. You're trying to figure out which dog's going to start barking. A lot of people are losing their patience as the draft gets closer. So the Cowboys are trying to find out, okay, which dog going to bark? Which dog going to bark? How do we get, if we can't get the player that we want, how do we get more players? This first pick is pivotal for the Cowboys. It's pivotal. The Cowboys have got to make sure, they hit on this first pick in particular. And I'm sorry. I don't think you let go of one of these top 5 wide receivers. Travis Hunter, giving him respect. But the other 4, there is not a receiver. I had said this before. There is not a receiver that was even in free agency that I was passing up one of these top 4 wide receivers for. The only one I would have even considered and would have passed up one of these wide receivers for is DK Metcalf. But I knew we were not going to get DK Metcalf because you're talking about a $30 million per year receiver, and you already got one of those. Devontae Adams is really only a 2-year rental for whoever gets him because that's all he's going to be for the Rams. And it's probably not what you're really wanting on this team, not at this stage. Now, maybe if it was next year, when the Cowboys team it'll be 1 year under Brian Schottenheimer's belt, and the team will have their identity. They'll have their philosophy. A lot of the things that they're trying to achieve, they will probably have reached the team chemistry point by the end of this season. And then next season, you're probably going in being super competitive, because I think that's where the Cowboys are going to start making the Super Bowl run, 26-27. You get a guy, you get one of these wide receivers. If your wide receivers haven't panned out, then you say, hey, guys, we might be like 1 or 2 players away. So now let's get extreme quality over quantity. Now we're going to really go, a big splash. Maybe there is a player that we say, this player might be the one that may take us over the top. But right now, the Courtland Sutton thing, don't like it. Don't like it. Miss Matrix, what's going on with you? I agree with you. Miss Matrix said, hit that like button. Mills 36, he says, how you feel about Steven? Boy, you already know. You already know, Mills 36. I don't want this man to leave without a deal. I do not want this man to leave without a deal. Gary Bookwalter, exactly. I love what you're saying. Unless you're talking about Jerry Rice. And for me, DK Metcalf would have been that receiver. Because all the rest of them, no. I'll take my chances in this draft. Also based upon how I believe the Cowboys are thinking. I believe the Cowboys think Jonathan Mingo going to be one of them. I do. I think the Cowboys are looking at Jonathan Mingo with visions of sugar plums dancing in their head. And they're thinking in their minds that this guy could be a bigger, better Michael Gallup, who we already wanted in the second round. We had a second round grade on him, and we got him. Man, let's see what this dude is with Dak. I'm telling you, they want Jonathan Mingo to be one of them. Tolbert is being put on notice, I'm telling you. Tolbert is going to be put on notice. Because I'm telling you, if Jonathan Mingo can be a solid third, he's a big body, big catch radius wide receiver. Oh, it's over for Tolbert. The dude, he said it's just Denver being smart and trying to wave a carrot in front of Jerry. Yes, sir. Hoping he'll go back to his foolish ego ways and take the bait. See the dude? He playing the game too. I like exactly what you're saying. He playing the game too. They know they want to get in the top 12. They want to see who will bite on Cortland Sutton. If I'm anybody, I'm not biting on Cortland Sutton. Unless you cut him. He clears waivers and I can get him almost clean. But other than that, no thank you. No, you're going to be on the money for that. We're not doing it. We're not doing it. And so again, why would we want Cortland Sutton and they don't want it? That's the part that kills me. Bleeding blue. Man, exactly. Man, you could pay 3 rookies $20 million. Easy. Easy $20 million. No way. No thank you. No thank you. You going to give me draft capital? I'll take it. Josh, no quarterback to draft. There's no quarterback to draft in this draft. It wouldn't be worth it. The Cowboys will probably wait till next year and see if they can get something next year, but there's not a quarterback in this draft, even though Jerry has been kind of hinting at the Cowboys could probably take a quarterback. There's no quarterback in this draft that's worth even dealing with in the top rounds. And if the Cowboys do bring in a quarterback, it'll be an undrafted quarterback. I think they'll bring in an undrafted free agent quarterback, but they will not. They won't waste a draft pick on them. DC4L, Mr. Brightside, what's up? He said, it is possible, but unlikely this year. It would be nice if we do. Yeah, exactly. It would be very unlikely. The dude, that's exactly why Denver is looking to make this move. They want one of the top wide receivers themselves. Exactly. I mean, people, man, the dude, again, I'm not hating on people. But, man, some of the stuff that we say, man, we got to be thinking about this stuff. Why would the Cowboys make this move? It don't make sense. Again, if this team was at quote-unquote full power, everything's together, and we're thinking maybe we're one player away, and I don't even think Cortland Sutton would be that player. If we were in that situation, I would have fought and clawed to get Devontae Adams. Devontae Adams, to me, is a receiver that you get when you think that you're right there on the cusp of going to the Super Bowl. Oh, I'm getting Devontae Adams. I'm not getting Cortland Sutton. And I'm definitely not signing Cortland Sutton at 30 years of age. I'm not extending him for no 3 or 4 year deal. No way. It doesn't make sense. What's going on, my man Jared Thomas? The number one Dak fan. I'm probably somewhere in there in the top 5. But again, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it. Yes, sir. Timothy Govan, they need to maximize that number 12. D Webb, what's going on? They got to maximize that number 12. The 70s fan, what's going on? He says, have you noticed how the Cowboys are talking about O-line at number 12? I think it's a smokescreen too, 70s fan. I think it's a smokescreen. The Cowboys know. The Cowboys know they're getting a wide receiver. They know they're getting a wide receiver. I don't think there's no doubt in my mind they're getting a wide receiver. And the way this thing is shaking up, I think Ted McMillan is going to be there for the Cowboys. I mean, it is crazy, man. I really want to see if this stuff turns out to be true. It is crazy when they start talking about some of these players that are falling in the draft. It is crazy to me. It is literally crazy to me how players, and again, the Cowboys, I don't think there's no other discussion. If Ted McMillan is there, and according to this tankathon, this is the Cowboys pick. You're not passing up Ted McMillan. You're just not. You're not passing up Ted McMillan. You're not doing it. I think Ted McMillan is going to be there. You're not passing up Ted McMillan. I'm not going to be surprised, though, if there's about 3 or 4 trades up here at the top. I'm not going to be surprised. I'm going to be shocked again. They got Abdul Carter at the number 3 spot. I'm not going to be surprised, guys, if Abdul Carter is one of these players. I will not be surprised if he's actually at number 4 or 5. Because, again, the New York Giants let go of Saquon Barkley. It will not surprise me if they get Ashton Jeanty. I'm just telling you, I don't see how these top 3 teams, we know Tennessee needs a quarterback, but the number 2 and 3 team, there is no way they can pass up on Ashton Jeanty and Travis Hunter. There's just no, I mean, it would be crazy to me if they did. It would be crazy to me. I'm not hearing anybody saying that Abdul Carter is a generational talent to the point of that if you don't get Abdul Carter, or Abdul Carter is a franchise changer. And that's not knocking Abdul Carter. I'm just saying, I don't understand how anybody passes up Travis Hunter or Abdul Carter, even if you're drafting based on need. Who doesn't need a generational running back? Explain it to me. Who doesn't need a generational running back? I don't care who my running back is. If Ashton Jeanty is there, I'm trading my running back. I'm sorry. There is not a running back in this league short of Saquon Barkley that if Ashton Jeanty is on the board when it comes to me, I'll trade my running back. I'll trade my running back and get Ashton Jeanty. The only one I don't put in that category is Saquon Barkley. And as much as I love Derrick Henry, he's on the tail end of his career. If Ashton Jeanty was there, I would be seeing, hey, who want Derrick Henry? There's no way they can make it past those 2 teams. And so the draft is going to get shaken up at the top half before the Cowboys. And this is one of the reasons, if people listen to what Jerry said today, and we're going to listen to it in just a moment. You never know who's going to fall to number 12. You never know. You never know who's going to fall to number 12. So there's no point. There's no point in talking about trading that one. You sit back and you wait. You sit back and you wait. And you get Ted McMillan because you need a wide receiver. They're going to get Ted McMillan, I believe. Alex, appreciate that super chat. Yes, sir. 2 days away. Man, I'm ready. I'm ready, Alex. And the reason why I'm ready is because of all these scenarios, man, that people keep talking about. Man, this stuff don't even make sense to me. I mean, and people, it's like people are like, yeah, man, Cortland Sutton, what are we talking about? This thing with Cortland Sutton don't even make logical sense. And this is not a Stephen Jones thing being cheap. It don't make sense. Ice Cold Cowboy, he said, no, he'll pass on that. Yes, sir, I'm with you. I'm with you. Timothy Govin, Jerry's going to the number 12 spot to acquire more draft capital. That's the only way he'll do it. Because I don't think they're going to get no player. And it don't make sense. Nah, I don't believe you. Don't be the best. Steven won't pay $20 million for a vet wide receiver. And if we talking about Cortland Sutton, I'm not doing it. And that's not a knock on Cortland Sutton. Cortland Sutton will probably go and help some other team. And if I'm Cortland Sutton, I'd be trying to get to a team that's close to a championship, man. You're 30 years old. Once you hit that 30 mark, man, there's not a lot of teams trying to pay you. There's not a lot of teams trying to let you have a 4-year deal, man. They're giving you 3-year deals with the understanding that it's 2. Mills says, forget 26. We're going to tear it up in 25 and beyond, G. The most I've been optimistic since 08 season. Yes, sir. Cowboys are going to be competitive this year, Mills. I 100% believe it. I believe it. Mills said 15 season, but Romo got injured. Man, and you know what? They had just got Romo probably to the point to where he probably was going to he was probably going to try to make another deep run, but the body gave out on him. Suge, midnight, what is going on? What is going on? X Brown, he says we're going wide receiver at 12. I believe so too. It's the only thing that makes sense. It's the only thing that makes sense to me. I wouldn't do anything else. Bill said Jalen Walker is a dog. Don't know be the best. Jalen Walker will be taken by the Rams. Oh, the edge rusher. Yeah. Well, you know what? Jalen Walker, I don't even think he makes it to I don't even think he makes it out of the top 12. Now, if Jalen Walker mess around and make it out the top 11, I wouldn't be surprised if the Cowboys got him. Don't know be the best. I think what you said right here is the key. I hate that everyone in the media and other teams know we want Ted McMillan. There it is. And it seems, don't know, that the Cowboys are trying to maybe take some of that, hey, we want Ted McMillan. They're trying to pump the brakes on that because they know that it just seems like when the Cowboys want players, teams go after them. And so the Cowboys know that I think they know that people know they want Ted. Mike McCain, the Denver Broncos want Ted just like the Cowboys. Exactly. He says they want to sucker Jerry Jones out of that 12 pick to get him. If I'm Jerry Jones, remember what Denver, yes, sir. Surtain, he said when Denver jumped at the Cowboys and still Surtain. I'm not doing it, Mike McCain. I'm not doing it, bro. I know exactly what you're talking about. I'm not doing it. And again, man, Cortland Sutton, I mean, I'm sure he's a terrific player, man. But you would have to be crazy to give up one of the top 5 wide receivers in the draft for Cortland Sutton. I don't need Cortland Sutton to double up in this draft. All I need is your draft pick. You give me a 20 and a third. That's all I need from you, Denver. I don't need Cortland Sutton. This wide receiver class is loaded in this draft. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll get the wide receiver that I want. I'll go back there and get Dante Thornton. I'll go back there and get Savion Williams. Or I'll double up. At running back. Damian Martinez, Marcus Yarns, other guys like that. Nah, I don't need it. I don't need your player, bro. You're not offloading that money on me. I'm not letting you do it. Patrick M. in the crib, what's up? He says, in all mock drafts I've been doing the last week, we have Genty fall to number 12 70% of the time. Shadour's fallen to pick 12 about 25% of the time. Now it's a mock draft, and I agree it's position. Yeah, hey, man, Shedeur Sanders, there's nothing going to surprise me about Shedeur. We don't know where he's going. I don't think he'll make it past Pittsburgh, but it won't shock me if he falls. It won't shock me if he gets close to Pittsburgh. It just won't shock me. So we're going to see what happens with that. Fane, what's going on? He said the body gave out. That's why they're trying to find Dak. No, they're not trying to find Dak replacement yet. Not yet, Fane. Your dreams will not be answered. Pressing for blessings. What's going on? He says all this talk about Ted only for him to be there and we grab Golden. Again, pressing for blessings. Even if they grab Matthew, I'm taking him over Cortland Sutton. I won't be mad if they get him. I'll take him over Cortland Sutton. These doggone wide receivers in this draft, they're all 4 so good. The upside is tremendous. I'm taking my chance on them, and I don't want Cortland Sutton. I don't. Yeah, Yeah, Quinn Scott said Denver tried to sell a wide receiver for $30 and no filters. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Man, I'm telling you, bro, I'm not doing it. I'm absolutely not doing it. All right, guys, let's turn over to this thing with Jerry Jones. The Cowboys did a little press conference. So let's move over to the pre-draft press conference.
Here we go.
And I thought this pre-draft press conference was kind of interesting. For the most part, I haven't heard all of it, so some of it's going to be brand new to me as we're watching this. But I think the Joneses are being very careful, at least as they can be, even though Jerry up in here trying to give away things. I think they're being as careful as they possibly can as it pertains to who they're going to draft or what they're doing in the draft. And so a lot of this is kind of like, it's kind of like a little filler conversation. But again, hey, I'm going to tell you something, guys. A lot of y'all talking about Golden over Ted. I'll be honest with you. I'm not going to be mad. I'm not going to be mad. I just don't think they can lose with these top 4 wide receivers. And I've been seeing some people, Patrick M. said, Trey Harris. Some people have been saying people are sleeping on Trey Harris. But I just don't think you can lose with a Mecca, Golden, Burden, or Tet. You can't lose. And those are the 4 the Cowboys. They're going to have an opportunity to get one of those 4 wide receivers, and they need to do it. All right, let's check Jerry Jones out on this presser.
This is a significant time for us, and this visit with the media and you is a big time. We just want to share our respect and appreciation for 5 decades of putting up with me, thank you came before. Yes, and I'm sitting up here noodling. David wrote a masterpiece on my noodling. So
Catherine Kiss, appreciate that super chat. Catherine Kiss, appreciate what you do, G. You do an awesome job. Appreciate you. Appreciate your support. We're going to have a ball. We're going to have a ball Thursday. Man, we're going to have a ball on Thursday.
We're getting that down real good right here. But you've gone from here to there. I'm but seriously, David, as far as even-handed, a very balanced but accurate look at anything that I've been involved in and the Cowboys have been involved in through my view over the years. Agree with everything you've written? Of course not, at all. But have just always appreciated the effort on your part to balance it out. And they have a place for guys like you really in the history of the Cowboys. Blackie Sherrod, Randy Galloway, people like that. Knew Blackie back as far as back as when I played at Arkansas. I had met him back that far. And so you're right there with them. If I thought about my time with you, and as it turns out, we have spent a lot of time over the years, but it's been very, very, very special. My coach, Frank Brawls at Arkansas, once was talking to me, and he said, Jones, I've recruited and have 2 genius IQs that have played for me. Jimmy Johnson, and you're sure as hell not one of them. Barry Switzer. Well, Clarence, you sure as hell aren't in the same league. This guy sitting right here. David, I don't want to make this any more than it needs to be to recognize how much you have meant to sports, which I've always considered to be a part with you as a brother in that respect, but certainly to the extent it's been impacted the Dallas Cowboys and our great fans. We thank you and regret that you're decided to hang them up. But congratulations on a great career from our percentage.
Can I
And we always start with you.
I don't know if you remember, I was in the your introductory press conference at Valley Ranch on that Saturday evening, a momentous one. I remember it ended in thinking, that guy's a wild ride. I'm going to enjoy this because certainly once PR professionals get ahead of him, he's going to be more polished. He's going to be more, a little less forthcoming, be a little more buttoned up in these press conferences. Thank you for ignoring their advice.
Be careful, I've still got some microphone here. Well, I could have never dreamed when I hope that we can find pictures that would reflect you in there with that group at the time. But what's so crazy is I can remember detail of that better than I can remember yesterday. And it's just amazing how that had evolved. And, of course, wouldn't have had any idea. I remember Stephen and my family and everybody sitting in there at that time. And I had seen Coach Landry earlier in the day. And, of course, without a question, one of the PR had Hill Knowlton, one of the best in the country. Biggest troubleshooter ever, had represented Pierre Salinger, some of the great people at all. He was my advisor. Brought him in. And then I had one of the best PR advisors that you could have in this immediate Dallas, Texas area. And Mr. Bryant said, Jerry, you should let me make the change for Coach Landry. You should do that. That's not fair to anybody, and I should do it. And my PR and everybody said, no, he's not going to be here because you're coming. And be a man, step up there and take it on the chin and step up there and go do it. One of the greatest PR disasters that's ever been imagined at that time. Still living with it at that time. But those a lot of things to talk about. Again, is there anybody else in here that was at that press conference with that? Just in the back, it sure is on the cameras back.
Mickey.
Mm-hmm. Mickey doesn't count. He's been around. But David, again, thank you, and looking forward to the time when we can sit down there and go over some of these old stories, and you can get your real truth from me at that time. Okay. But guys, okay.
All right. We'll start out with the first question from David Moore.
David Moore, Dallas Morning News. In your discussions leading up, you're sitting at 12 here. What does it look like? There's going to be a cluster of 3, 4, 5 players you'll be happy with, and how does that have the ramifications as far as your willingness to potentially move back when you're on the clock?
I think I'd like for Will to speak to it. We've yet to put the board up. I was going to invite you all back here after this to shoot a shot of the board. but seriously, and Will, I like Will. If you don't mind, I'd like to include Will here in terms of generally where you think the board is relative to the players.
I think, every draft is different. So we're going to have a certain number of players that we consider as first-round players. And those guys that will come into contention, whether we move back or not, that will depend on the depth of the draft, how we graded those players and the decision from the decision makers.
In other words, he ain't telling us nothing.
The thing that I've noticed the most, we haven't put the board up, really. Haven't, but it's going up quick. And trust me, all the bones are there and ready to stick up there. But still, it has impressed me with the depth that there is in some of these positions. And we're not just thinking that because they're at that 12 spot. But we had no idea that Michael Parsons would drop down there to us when he did. And so it do happen. And we certainly are not going to knowingly let a great player run through us for strategy or for trades up or down. But it's a big deal. I think it's a bigger deal today, draft players playing immediately. It's more of a challenge on coach. that players are coming in and you're counting on them immediately. And that's a part of the game today is a lot of young players out there.
Clarence.
See, I think this right here, what he just said, is a megaton bomb. Jerry is saying something very specific. We're not trading out of that spot if there's a difference maker there. We're not trading out of that spot. Because Jerry is saying something in this very conversation that I've been having. Jerry is basically saying, you don't know who's going to drop down right there. So the board that we can't see, that Jerry said he going to let them take a picture of, which is funny. But Jerry is saying something. Hey, man, we got a board put together. And there are absolutely some players right there at 12 that if even if they're not wide receiver, we're going to get that player. We're going to get that player. I can tell you one thing, y'all can have a sigh of relief because the Cowboys bringing back in Stephon Gilmore is probably telling us they're not going cornerback in these first 3 rounds, especially at number 1. But again, Jerry is saying something. That number 12 pick comes in and immediately plays. You're not getting number 12. You're not getting that number 12 pick, and they're not playing. No, they're playing. They're playing. And that's kind of what he's alluding to. So I would not be surprised if the Cowboys going to stand pat on that 12 and just wait and see what happens. If they do trade down, it will have to be something big. And I like the fact that you kind of say something like this to let people know you come to get that 12, bro. We don't want your players. We want draft capital.
Dallas Cowboys, picking up here our nightmares and trading great players. How have you taken in the Luka trade and how that's transpired the last few weeks?
Well, I'm a fan of the Mavericks, big fan of the Mavericks, and consequently a big fan of Luka. The world knows that I've got my hands full thinking about what we think about over here, much less trying to figure out. I look at the Maverick through a very much entertainment eye. And I know Luka was a personal friend and watched a lot of games with us, and would hope that he would be able to watch some more games with us as we go along, know his family pretty well and his support staff pretty well. So all of that is just one as a fan. Now, Gene was All-State, scored 17 straight free throws in the state championship game. And Gene lives and dies with that basketball. And just cried when Luka left. But I understand that, and I understand, frankly, you say, how could that happen? I've got a little bit probably better understanding how something like that can happen.
Regarding the draft, what is your goal for the 12th pick? And you said you haven't put the board up. You know, is it you want an instant impact player? You don't want to target a position. Obviously, you want BPA, but do you feel that you can get a guy that can be an instant impact player at 12?
Yes. Period.
And regarding the first round, how many first round picks, or you haven't even got that far? How many first?
Period. Period. That's it. Hey, I'm telling you, I know some people might not be liking what Jerry's saying. I love what Jerry's saying. And some people don't like it, but I'm going to tell you why I love it. Put people on notice. We know what this 12 is. Don't come up here knocking on this door unless you're ready to give up something. Don't you come up here. Don't you come knocking on this door with Cortland Sutton. I'm just telling you. Jerry is saying something. I know what this number 12 pick is. I know what this number 12 pick is, and I guarantee you, they got players on that board. I will not be surprised if the Cowboys have players on that board other than Ted, other than Ashton Genty, that if this player is here at 12, we're not passing them up. I guarantee you, because the Cowboys probably have in their mind that even at number 2, they can still get a Mecca, they can still get Burden. And they're probably even thinking at 3, we can get Quinshon Judkins. I don't think they can get Quinshon Judkins, but they probably think they can get Quinshon Judkins at number 3. But again, my question is, could Bashul Tootin. I mean, I don't know, man. We seen some tape on Bashul Tootin. I believe the Cowboys think there are some running backs back there that they could even get it in the third round. That would be absolutely crazy. So, again, I just think Jerry's telling some people, hey, man, you come up here for this 12? Hey, man, don't be knocking on this door. I mean, don't be knocking on this door with nothing. You better come up here knocking on this door with some serious draft capital.
First round talents are in this draft.
We haven't gotten to the number yet, but it typically every year it's somewhere around on our board. It's somewhere around 15 to 18, and we'll see how that falls out this year.
Nisi, I'm doing my best interpreter job right now.
When you have a new coaching staff and new assistants that haven't been part of your process, how do you go about? Do they get more leeway or more vision from you guys on what they're thinking, or do they have to earn their stripes at all through the process to understand how you guys work it when they come in during the process?
I think I think at the end of the day, one of the things that has been a big contributor to our success is the communications that we've had with any staff, whether it was Mike McCarthy's, whether it was Jason Garrett's, now whether it's Coach Schotte's, is the communication we have with the scouting department, with Jerry, with myself, in terms of giving a vision of what Schotty and his offensive staff want, whether it's what Schotty and Eberflus and the defensive staff want, getting a vision for the type of players that are going to enable us to have success on the field. And
Angie said I'm good in interpreting Jerry Jones. Appreciate that super chat. I'm doing my best job. I'm telling you what he's saying. Jerry putting people on notice. Don't you come up here talking about this 12 unless you talking about something. Don't come up here. Denver, don't come up here talking about Cortland Sutton. Don't you come up here with that mess. There are players, he just said it, there are players at number 12 that they're going to be able to make an impact. Tell them, Jerry. Don't let these people try to sucker you with a scarecrow.
What type of player we're looking for. And that does vary. It actually gives, one of the things that gave Jerry great pause is the fact that we're looking at 3 different defensive coordinators in 3 years. And even though they run certain things that are similar, there are things that are different. And when they're different, then that requires maybe a little different type of talent that you might be looking for in Dan Quinn's scheme versus Eberflus's schemes. But if you communicate that and communicate it well, you can certainly work through that, and you certainly know what you're looking for in the draft. And hats off to the scouting department. Hats off to Coach Schotty and his coaching staff in terms of the communication that's gone on with Jerry, myself, Will, and the scouting department, so we can have that vision for what we should be picking or what we should be looking for in a player when we get ready to draft a player.
One of the real advantages that I saw, and we all saw,
Intelligent Savage, if you know what, you hitting on something here. Jerry is kind of revealing some stuff, and you can tell every time Will McClay talks, Will McClay is talking very general. He don't want to let no cat out of the bag. Jerry Jones is talking like a man that's up here negotiating already with folk, man. He telling folk, hey, man, this is what we're doing. The only way you getting us off this, you coming with something.
He knows our team. He knows it as well as any coach could have known it other than Mike. And that was big, and that is big. And so we're getting the benefit of those new coaches sitting in he's encouraged them to really be active in the process. And they were active, Will, with you on the road, going to workouts, certainly at the combines. But Schotty has got them really not only fired up, but really talking the talk. And actually been great in the draft room, evoking from them. None of them have had any hesitancy to speak up and a value. But you're sitting there looking at Flus. I hadn't heard Flus in a long time, and he's had some experience from Chicago to give one under his wings and seen a lot of things that might work, might not work, those kinds of things. It is a great thing to have a makeup of that much input. And probably, have we ever come in here at this time and not had the board done? I don't think we have. You might not have the timing of being in here. But one of the reasons that board's not up until today is because this has been a longer, to me, process. But these coaches that Schotty got, they're ready to gnaw through the wall. They're ready to roll. I mean, they're really excited, and Schotty's encouraging them to. And, boy, you're seeing a lot of different ways to look at a player. And that should be very helpful to us, not just because these guys are going to be coaching them, because you're trying to get the right kind of player out there. There's never been, ever, since I've owned this team, a draft pick that I didn't in any way really get the input from who it is that would help solve the problem. No way. I looked at, well, boy, when we're getting ready to pick, I'll look at him, and if he even blinks, I'll look what he's blinking about. When we're getting ready to pick, and I'll measure Schotty, or I'll be looking back there at Flus at this particular time and looking for body language, looking for conviction, looking for that kind of thing. Now, that's on top of the arduous process of evaluating them by standards that are really, we're in agreement so much. We're one of the best drafting teams in the NFL. I'll say that. We are.
Oh, man.
And that's because of the hard work that goes on to get there, and it's because of, in my mind, the process we use to make the decisions. I do not make the decision about that player. That's been made cumulatively, and it's been made cumulatively here and there, and I'm a tiebreaker maybe. But I hope to hell that I'm sitting there listening to all of this, sat in on all the meetings, been in all the stuff, and I hope that we come up with the very best decision. Not to mean that you can't water them down to complete.
Jerry is just basically saying, Jerry's just saying the long way around. Don't blame me for whoever we pick. Jerry said, I'm not the one that's picking these players. I'm letting these guys around me pick the players. I hear exactly what he's saying.
Homogenation, if you wanted to. And you could literally get so much opinion that it would go and it'd be totally homogenized.
Jared, but boy, that Jared, boy, that dude is a wordsmith. That man is using homogenation as it applies to picking players. Jared, slow down, bro. I bet everybody right now scratching their heads. I got you, Jared. You're not doing the picks by yourself. I got you. Also, too, to a person for a blessing, you know, when you talk about who matches up best with CeeDee Lamb, I think it would be Ted McMillan. Ted McMillan is a chain mover. Ted McMillan is a big receiver that would alleviate CeeDee Lamb of having to do those types of things, and CeeDee Lamb can turn more into the playmaker that I believe that he is. Also, Ted McMillan, I think he'll be better than CeeDee Lamb down there in the red zone because he's a bigger target. So I think Ted McMillan is the one who lines up best with CeeDee Lamb from that perspective because, again, I think Matthew Golden is a chain mover too, a lot faster than CeeDee Lamb. I just think with Matthew Golden, you're looking at a shorter receiver where he is going to be definitely explosive. I don't think he brings you the matchups. I don't think he brings you the immediate difference that Ted McMillan is going to make. Man, you're talking about a 6'4" wide receiver that can go up and get the ball. I mean, man, that's different. I mean, you're talking about a whole different dynamic as a quarterback, man. You're talking about a whole different dynamic to your game of where you can place a ball when it comes to Ted McMillan versus Matthew Golden. Golden is you're going to have to be a lot more precise. Ted McMillan, you say, hey, man, I'm going to throw this ball to only where you can get this ball. Woo, man. I think Ted McMillan with CeeDee Lamb would probably be a better match. But then once you get past Ted McMillan, I really do think you got to make a choice between I still say Matthew Golden did not play 4.2 940. He did not play at that speed. I think Burden is a better playmaker than Matthew Golden. I'm just saying it. I don't care if people like it or not. I just think Luther Burden III is a better playmaker. So if you're looking for big playmaker, explosiveness, I will not be surprised they go with Burden III. And I would place actually Emeka Egbuka in between both of them. I would put Emeka between Matthew and Luther. I'd put him right between. Emeka's got a great skill set. Big playability. He can get open. Some people say he don't get separation. I didn't see that. I saw separation from Emeka. It seemed like every time he looked up, Emeka Egbuka was running wide open. He would probably be an in-between of those two. But I'm just telling y'all, man, if Ted McMillan is not there, do not be surprised if Luther Burden III makes it on his team, even though I do believe a lot of people think that Jerry's going to get Matthew Golden based on the interview that we saw. I posted a video about it a couple of days ago. I think people think that Matthew Golden is a shoe-in, but I'm telling you, man, this dude Luther Burden III. You want explosive? You want playmaker? Well, you're going to have to really make a decision because this dude, Luther Burden III, is crazy with it, man. I'm just telling you.
And so it'd be hard to find maybe the edge that you're looking for right there. But that's the process that we go through there. And by the way, I don't mind telling you now, if somebody comes up and starts coming out of my mouth right about the time we're getting ready to pick, and it's an errant idea or an errant thing, don't you think it isn't all hell to pay now? Nobody around here is afraid to really step up here and say, wait a minute. Let's look at this real good. And Schotty's already shown me, I sit beside him, and he's already shown me he'll work my ass over.
Uh-oh. Jerry, hold on. You got young folks listening to you. Don't be talking about nobody working you over, Jerry. Calm down. Calm down, man. We got young folks out there listening, man. Calm down. Tony Perry's talking about a corner from East Texas. I'm going to have to check him out. Talking about he might. What round do you think he's projected to go in? Tell me that, Tony Perry. What round do you think he's going in? Intelligence said, thinking cornerback at 44, Siobhan Revel insurance policy with a vet cornerback coming in. We know how we love questionable players. Medical in the second round picks. Hey, y'all tell me what you think in the chat. Man, I could be totally wrong. I believe the Cowboys are telling us it's all but over for Trayvon Diggs. I do. I think the Cowboys are telling us it's all but over for Trayvon Diggs. I mean, I will not be surprised if the Cowboys trade Trayvon Diggs. I mean, they are seriously looking at this cornerback position. But again, we'll see. We'll see. Niece said, was that the blanket I have on the window? She said, was this to Jerry's office or the stand? Oh, man, you got me rolling in here. Niecy, you heard what Jerry said. Jerry said he gonna let them come take a snapshot on the draft board. I mean, if Jerry probably could, he probably would. He probably would. Oh man, he probably would. Yeah, I'm about to get that, Niecy. The Charlie Brown talk. I'm about to get that. But that man Jerry Jones up in here, Niecy. This man up in here trying to reveal everything if you let him. Lonnie, yes sir, he loves to talk. This is why you can tell how everybody's looking. Look at everybody's face when Jerry be talking. But that lets you know though, Jameson Taylor, what's going on? That also lets you know that Jerry, I don't think he's running things, but I think everybody's just kind of like saying, yeah, but we're still gonna let Jerry be Jerry, say what he say. Intelligent Savage, I agree with you. I think the Cowboys should double up at running back. I've already been saying that. Double up at running back. I would love Travion Henderson with Boshoot. Ooh, man. Woo, that'd be serious right there. That'd be serious work, Intelligent Savage. And again, Intelligent, if you wanted to go with a hybrid, Savion Williams. You could double up and get Savion Williams. And kind of have the hybrid of the wide receiver running back. Man, I'm telling you. But again, that man Jerry, boy, you got to be careful with Jerry. Jerry, he'll let the cat out of the bag. Meanwhile, you can tell, boy, man up here, Will Clay, shoot, Will Clay, boy, he trying to be as vague as he can. He is. Keek said they need to treat Jerry like that monk on Sister Act 2 and look and lock him out the draft room with a sub of bread and a bottle of Jimmy Walker, man. I'm telling you, that boy Jerry tried to give it up.
Brian, how much do you want to get more speed on your offense?
It's always something you look at, Todd. At the end of the day, this is an exciting time of year. Speed in this league is important. It's not the only way to do it. The one thing about speed, it gives you something you don't have to coach. And so the way we're going to play and the style that we're going to play, speed is an advantage, but it's not the only thing that we look at. And again, to speak to what Jerry and Steven and really Will were talking about, I've thoroughly enjoyed the process. The conversations, the disagreements, quite honestly, and then watching the kind of the conviction when you ultimately put the final grade on a player it's been awesome, and I feel really good heading into Thursday night.
Yeah, you heard me, superstar status. I had to throw my man Savion Williams in there. Hey, I'm telling you, man, if there's a couple of wide receivers in this draft that you want to take a chance on, if you possibly could, Savion Williams and Dante Thornton. Dante Thornton is a speedster. Man, he is a speedster. Savion Williams is just a monster. I don't know how else to describe this dude. Angie, the Rebel Chicks turned me on to him. Hey, man, this dude's a monster. I would love for the Cowboys to get a wide receiver, running back, and Savion Williams. Boy, this dude right here. Savion Williams could be serious for the Cowboys, and I'm telling y'all, I am not going to be surprised this season. Savion Williams. We're going to hear people talking about Savion Williams on a regular basis. This dude is good. Wouldn't be surprised if San Francisco have him on the draft board, try to get him to replace Deebo Samuel maybe in the third round. I will not be surprised he goes there.
John Machota with The Athletic. Jerry, there's been some of your 30-year visitors have talked about you having their mothers get them on the phone. Why have you done that? And maybe if you could share a story of maybe something that's come from that.
Well, it principally is for the moms and the dads. And I like to see the interplay between the player and his dad or his mom. I like to see that. I like to see it come back and forth. I think I can get a little read for their influence when you have it there. One player I came in, his dad's a serious coach. And boy, I'm telling you, when I brought up, I hope he understands he's going to have to work harder than he ever has in his life. He just, he had that look on his face. He will work harder than he's ever worked in his life. He had that kind of comeback to it. It's great to see that, but more importantly, it is great to be able to tell those wonderful parents, especially those single moms. It is wonderful to tell them how great they are to have had a child that's sitting here getting to go through this process and getting to have this kind of scrutiny and still sitting here available and in play. Thank you, Mama, and congratulations to you. You've done a magnificent job. That's the principal reason right there. And I know that the players, it means a lot to them too. It's a big deal for me.
Calvin Watkins, Dallas Morning News. This is for Will. Usually when you get a first-year coach, there's a little bit of a transition of understanding what he wants, but Schotty's been here a couple of years. So has that transition been a little quicker, smoother for you this go around?
Yeah, it's been quicker because Schotty knows what he wants and explains it very clearly. He understands our process. He's testing the conviction and bringing his points out in it. So it's been a seamless sort of process. And, when you talk about our process, I was talking with the scouts the other day. We're the wholesalers. We know where the fruit are. We're the wholesalers. We're saying what they can do. We're giving it to the coaches. The coaches make up the recipe, and then they own the restaurant. So it's how we all work together. We're trying to get this thing the right way. And there's the consistent way that we do it. And then Schotty saying the little ingredients that they want that are a little bit different than this staff or that staff. It's the communication and then us drilling down to try and find those things that make the little bit of difference.
Quick one for Schotty.
I tell you right now, they might as well stop asking Will McClay questions, because if you're wanting any insight on the players, Will McClay is not going to give it to you. He's not going to give it to you. If you want some insight on maybe how some things work the way he just explained, he'll give some of that to you. But Will McClay, man, Will McClay ain't giving you nothing.
As an assistant coach for a long time, how did you observe the head coaches and say, okay, when I get my shot, I won't do this, or I might do that in terms of the draft process?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is just to be open and honest, to create a format, which we certainly have done, where there was open dialogue and there was great communication. And at the end of the day, you want conviction. That's what you want. You want, when you decide, hey, this is the player we're gonna select. You want to be convicted by what's the vision for the player. That's part of our responsibility as a staff to answer some of those questions. But at the end of the day, the systems on both sides of the ball and special teams will be flexible enough to adjust. And at the end of the day, when we line up to play our first game, there's going to be 11 players out there, and whoever the best players are going to be the ones that play.
Nick Harris, force.
That is one of the best things I've heard come from the Cowboys in a long time. Let's see if they stick to it. Catherine Kiss said Diggs hasn't been the same since his last injury. Yeah, I don't think he's been the same since that first one. And you know what, Catherine, I think they rushed him back too early. I think they did the same thing with Michael Gallup. I think they've done this with Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott tries to come back early, but I think they've done this with other players, and I think it's actually biting Trayvon Diggs. And this is why Trayvon Diggs has got to come back this year. Trayvon Diggs has got to come back in the best shape of his career because he has to be thinking like DeMarcus Lawrence. He literally has to be thinking like DeMarcus Lawrence. This is probably going to be my last season. So he's got to make it hard for the Cowboys to say, if you're going to let me go, you're going to let me go at the top of my game. And he's got to have a great year so the Cowboys can trade him. Oh, yeah. Let me tell you, everybody, Bill, there's a reason why I was asking myself this question, because I was like, why are they asking Jerry Jones questions? Listening to these other guys, I know why they're asking Jerry Jones questions, because everybody else is being very vanilla and generic in their questions. Not Jerry Jones. Jerry Jones is putting chocolate and sprinkles on top of it. So Jerry is the walking headline. No doubt about it. He's the walking headline. So that's why they're asking him questions. And he said the look on Shotty's face says that we gave him the wrong plan because he knew we knew he would talk. Hey, I'm telling you, this is why they're asking Jerry questions, because they know Jerry's going to give him some of the questions. He's going to give him something more than what these guys are giving him, because you can tell 3 of the people on this panel, they're on the same page. They're being very generic. Intelligent Savage, he says sometimes the ones to watch when someone's talking crazy is the one who really wants the talking to end, not the one talking crazy. And that's Stephen and Will McClay in this video. Oh, yes. Just watch their face, man. They just look. It's like they looking at each other like, man, Jerry, man, stop it, Jerry.
Our Telegram, this is for anyone on the board. I know you guys want to be in a position where you can take best player available at 12. How much do you factor in need on this team when it comes to these premium picks, or are you trying your best to stick to the board in this first round?
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, you are trying to pick the best player on the board. Now, if it's up there and you got guys who are, equally graded for the most part, then obviously you might lean into a position where, hey, we could use a little more help there, and we're pretty strong over here, so let's lean in over here and take that player. But what you don't want to see yourself doing is, picking a player who's quite a bit down the line, a round down, and trying to take that player over a guy that you've got situated, in particular, let's use the 12th pick. If, we got first-round grades on players on our board, you want to take that player. And, at the end of the day, those things work themselves out. I mean, we never went into that draft, Micah's draft, thinking we were going to pick Micah and a pass rusher / linebacker. The year we picked CD, we were thinking we were going pass rusher all the way, and we end up with a receiver. And, great things happen when you do things like that. And, we were just having that conversation the other day about, you just got to, you got to stay true to where these grades are and what these players are, and good things will happen, because in this league, players, they rotate through, and if you got young guys coming, it allows you to maybe put resources rather than keeping a guy that you can put with somebody else that enables your team to be better, and that's ultimately our goal.
I would love to see the Dallas Cowboys draft board. Jerry Jones would love to show it to me too. Jerry would love to show all of us that draft board, but I would love to see what grades do they have on some of these players? Like, do they have, like, other than, because I think the Cowboys have probably, like the rest of us, I think the Cowboys have probably have reserved or come to the understanding that Genty is not going to be there. There's even a possibility that Ted McMillan is not going to be there. So my question would be, who are the other players, who are the other players that the Cowboys would have right there at 12, saying also that if these players are there, because let's think about this. Let's say that a player is, you don't have him as a 12, you have him as a 13 or a 14. Do you not go ahead and spend the 12? Because the 13 and the 14 team probably don't want to trade up. So do you go ahead and get them? So how far away from 12 are you willing to draft the player at 12? Is he somebody that you really, really want? So if he's somebody that you really, really want, you really have to make the decision to go ahead and get that player. I'm really wondering, like, what do they have right there? But again, it's going to be very interesting on Thursday when we get there.
And for Brian, there's a lot of players in this draft class that have athletic traits, physical traits, but then there's questions about production with some. How do you value traits versus actual production from the college level?
Well, it's the traits that actually give you the chance to project, whether it's speed, size, change of direction, things like that. You try not to get too caught up in just the numbers. The numbers are what they are in terms of 40 time and things like that. The game film to this day is still the best thing, in my opinion, when you're studying a player. And then the one thing you didn't mention was the person. You know, we're looking for those world-class competitors, the guys that are coming in and want to work hard. They're passionate about what they do. So it really is a puzzle that you're trying to fit together. And to me, traits are one of the pieces of the puzzle that you're trying to figure out.
Danny's Lakers Nation in the house. What's going on with you, Danny? You know what? I think you're right in this from this perspective. This is probably something that was Jerry Jones' idea. I don't think these other three guys, I mean, I could be totally wrong, but I wouldn't. This doesn't seem like something that Schotty wants to do, Steven necessarily wants to do, because the one thing I think that's going to be different in the Stephen Jones era, Steven is not going to, I think he's going to talk, but not as much as Jerry. And we definitely know this isn't Will McClay's forte. This is not Will McClay's forte. This is definitely not Will McClay's forte. So this seems like something that Jerry, and you heard what Jerry said at the beginning, it's something that he wanted to do for the fans. And I guess it's something that Jerry's kind of giving us, you know, kind of right before the draft, just giving us a little bit more something to talk about. So I can be honest with you, I absolutely appreciate it, because I'm mocked out hearing people talk about who the Cowboys, should get, and coming up with all these players and these scenarios, and some of them are so far-fetched. And I'm just kind of like, I don't think, I'm just trying to keep it simple myself. I just think the Cowboys, you just stand pat at number 12, and you make somebody come with an offer you can't refuse. Don't let people approach you with this Cortland Sutton stuff and even this Pickens stuff, this George Pickens. Hey, man, don't let Pittsburgh approach you with George Pickens unless they're talking about, hey, you want Shedeur Sanders? If Shedeur is number 12, you want Shedeur Sanders? You're not just swapping picks, bruh. I'm telling them up front. You're not just swapping picks. You want Shedeur Sanders, you're giving up a first. We're going to swap picks. You're going to give up a second and a fourth, or you're going to give up a third and a fourth. Bruh, you about to come off some picks. I don't care if we get your fourth this year and your first next year. You're coming off some picks. That's where I am if I'm the Cowboys with this number 12, because if not, I'm going to be like, hey, man, we're going to get the best player available. And so it seems like they're pretty resolute on that. At least that's what it seems. It seems like they're pretty resolute on that. And again, they're talking about speed and things of that nature. I'm telling y'all, don't discount the fact either. Paris Campbell is on this team. The Cowboys could easily replace both Jalen's and be way better at the wide receiver position. So, be way better at the wide receiver position and go in this draft and still get that wide receiver. So, again, the Cowboys need to just stick to their guns and whoever that best player available is. We know the Cowboys need a wide receiver and a running back. I think that's kind of where they're going to stick in those first 2 picks. But if no one is there they want it with number 1, if you're coming up to get it, you're going to give up something. Because if not, the Cowboys are going to come away with somebody else. We'll see.
Patrick.
Hey guys, Patrick Walker, DallasCowboys.com. Question more so for Stephen, Will, and especially Shotty. Jerry, feel free to chime in, obviously. When you're looking at DPA versus D, if you're looking at a situation where, let's say hypothetically, there are 2 or 3 wide receivers who can instantly make an impact, but they have different archetypes for the most part, at what point do you start having the discussion about current personnel as far as being able to slide that scale more towards need versus DPA? How did that discussion come along in the war?
You know, I think I hit on it a little. I just think it matters on the variations. You know, what is the difference? And, you know, if we got to use our terms, if we got a player with a 1.14 and a player with a 1.15, now that's really close. And, you know, in terms of, you know, picking a player who maybe fits your, you know, maybe scratches an itch, if you will, in terms of picking a player that's going to fit a need, even though you might have a 1/10 of a point. You know, in the big scheme of things, that's not a big deal. But if you're picking a guy who's got a 1.24 over a 1.14, then to me that's when mistakes are made, and you're ended up getting a player that you felt like was a second-round player versus getting a player you could have taken that's a first-round player. That'd be my take.
Jake Slater, NFL Network. I'm old enough to remember the last time we had an exciting quarterback follow the Cowboys when they came up. Have you guys gone through that scenario if there was an exciting quarterback like, say, Jackson Dart or Shedeur Sanders there at 12?
Yeah, well, we've got a major commitment with Dak, and so you weigh all of that. And but I was going to add to this whole conversation.
All right, and they Jane Slater, thank you. You just asked the wrong question to the wrong person on the panel. She just asked about the quarterback. Now, Jerry's initial response is great, and then he continues to go on.
It's very often that somebody will step up and say, "Now we got this guy right here. We've got him, and we just signed him under contract." But guess what? Guys get hurt. So you bet your whole house that you got him, and then all of a sudden you don't have him. So that's when your old mind starts saying, well, if this guy did get hurt, what would we do this year? There you go. There you go. But don't misinterpret. All I'm saying is that you have to figure that rather than say we've got him, we don't have that need, you have to figure that there's some injury to be. Now, how important is that player as opposed to the one you're looking at on the board? And could he fill that need right there? I do that. I really do.
Now, let me interpret this because Jerry is up here straight tripping. Let's interpret this. There is not one quarterback in this draft other than possibly Cam Ward. And I don't even know if people are that up on Cam Ward. This is not that type of draft to where you're looking at quarterbacks in this draft. Jane just loved to open up them can of worms. There is not a quarterback in this draft that you're looking at saying that if Dak Prescott goes down, we're going to draft this quarterback. If he's there at 12 or if he is there at 44, we're going to draft this quarterback because if Dak Prescott goes down, we believe he can come in and win. That don't make sense. That quarterback, I believe, the Cowboys believe that quarterback is already on the team, and we're going to see what he looks like during during training camp. It's Joe Milton III. Joe Milton III, while he is not going to take Dak Prescott's spot, Joe Milton III is the type of quarterback to where you could change your game plan up and he can be a part of your quote-unquote run game attack. He's a big quarterback. He is. He could be a part of your run game attack. He could really change the dynamic on your team to where you could win 2, 3, 4 games somewhere in there depending upon how that looks. But there is not a quarterback in this draft, including Shedeur Sanders, that you're going to bring on and say that if Dak Prescott goes down, he is the quarterback that's going to take you to the promised land. It's not happening. This ain't that draft. Double negative. This ain't that draft. And, again, Jerry shouldn't be talking like this. This is one of those things where, hey, man, at the end of the day, let's bank on Dak Prescott being healthy. Because the one thing we know that when Dak Prescott is healthy, Dak Prescott is going to be good for 10 wins at the minimum. If Dak Prescott is healthy, if everything pans out the way Dak Prescott is playing, Dak Prescott is on his way to probably either being comeback player of the year, offensive player of the year, second team All-Pro. If Dak comes back looking the way that he looks now, when we got finally a game plan that's going to look way better than Mike McCarthy's, and they're finally going to add these weapons, the way everything looks. No, Dak Prescott is in for a great season. He is in for a great season. I think Dak Prescott should be pretty good going forward. We'll see what happens. But, again, Jerry, you didn't need to answer this question like that.
You do. And so if we've got depth and that guy gets hurt, that's one thing. If you're left out in the cold for right now and you need that, that's another thing.
Sod.
Used to be athletic. Steven, you guys obviously have a need at cornerback with Trayvon recovering. We just saw Stephon Gilmore walk out the building. Just, what can you say about his visit here?
Well, we always are looking to make our roster better, is what I'd say about any player. Obviously, we did some work in free agency via trade with Elam, and certainly we're fired up about Carson coming back off an injury that really limited to him after he had that after the first 3 or 4 games. So we do feel like we've got some good corners, but we're always looking to make things better. Now we have players who we'd like to think love to come back and say hi, and it doesn't always mean because they're in the building that there's a deal in the works. But I think in general,
Stop it, Stephen Jones. Stop it. Y'all just heard what he said, right? Y'all do know who he talking about right here, right? He said just because somebody is in the building don't mean that you're going to sign him. Oh, you talking about Stephon Gilmore? Is that who you talking about? That y'all heard he said? Let me go back. Listen to him.
Up about Carson coming back off an injury that really limited to him after he had that after the first 3 or 4 games. So we do feel like we've got some good corners, but we're always looking to make things better. Now we have players who we'd like to think love to come back and say hi, and it doesn't always mean because they're in the building that there's a deal in the works. But I think in general, our player acquisition, I always say it's year round, and we're always looking to get better. And if we see that opportunity, then we'll do it. Obviously, there's a big focus on the draft right now. But it doesn't rule out that we're not looking at trades or still looking at signing other players.
You talking about Stephon Gilmore? Is that who you talking about in the building right now? Is that who you talking about, Stephen Jones? Or you trying to tell us that he's just over there to say hi inside the Star? Let me tell you something. Stephon Gilmore is not at the Star stopping in just to say, I ain't seen you in a while, Jerry and Steven. I just want to see how y'all doing. Nah, he ain't in there for that. This dude is in there to say, they called him in there for a reason. This man is in here. This man is in here because the Cowboys are saying, hey, man, you might be better than anything. And I do believe he's better than anything they're going to get in the draft. He's better than anything they're going to get in the draft. So, man, bring on Stephon Gilmore if you can get him for a good price. Chanel, what's going on? He said Jane likes to ask senseless questions that have no real meat, but she is there trying to make a splash. Sensationalism is her thing. You know what, Chanel, I don't even understand the quarterback question. They've already addressed quarterback. I'm just telling you, they've already addressed quarterback. Will Grier can play, y'all. Will Grier can play this game. But they're also wanting to see if he can be beat out, if he can be beat out by Joe Milton III. And what I will not discount, I will not be surprised the Cowboys bring in an undrafted quarterback, an undrafted quarterback. I will not be surprised if the Cowboys don't bring in one. I will not be surprised. So this job is not just a shoe-in for Joe Milton III the way some people believe. Timothy Govin. I've been hearing that Tennessee may want to trade that first-round draft pick, Timothy, so I can understand what you're saying there too. Boy, if they trade that first round, boy, they're going to blow this draft up. They going to blow this draft up, man. Shotty going to have tools. Yeah, I do. Alejandro, I believe you. Yeah, Shotty's going to have a way better game plan for Dak Prescott. Niecy, you caught it too? You caught it too, Niecy? He trying to tell people don't get excited about Stephon. Man, stop it. Man, you ain't bringing in Stephon Gilmore talking about how you bringing in Stephon Gilmore because I'm telling you, man, Stephon Gilmore make it on this team. The Cowboys are wanting Kyer Elam to be one of those guys too. Man, they mess around and bring them in. I'm telling you, Trayvon Diggs will be traded. Now, the problem they're going to have with Trayvon Diggs is they're going to have to prove that he's healthy. They're going to have to prove that he's healthy so that a team would actually bite on Trayvon Diggs. But, you know, if I'm one of them teams, I'm probably not biting on Trayvon Diggs. I can see what these contracts are. I just wait on Dallas to cut him. Chanel, he's going to sign Gilly. He's not trying to show his head. I believe he is too. I believe he's going to sign Gilmore. I wish they would have brought Gilmore back last year. I was saying that early in the season. I wish they would have brought him back then. Katharina, 100% on Dak, G. I think Dak is going to be excellent this season. The bad play calling, useless clock management is gone. Yes, Katharina. Absolutely. Absolutely. Gilly had a great year with Minnesota. Yes, he did. Absolutely had a great year. One interception, the defensive grade of 85, I believe. And I think he'll fit. We're going to see what Matt Eberflus does, but I think Gilly will fit in great. I do. I think Gilly will fit in absolutely great with what we got going on. I do. Jerry wants to start Anthony Davis trash, G. Let me see. Troy Dudley says cornerback is one of the hardest positions to hit on. Yeah, 4th and 5th rounders start all the time. Exactly. Yeah. And guess what, Troy? Man, you bring in Stephon Gilmore. You let him tutor Kyer Elam. You get both of them on the field. And you see what you got. You got Carson. You know, he just mentioned Carson. We're going to see what Carson is. I mean, you might have something there. You do.
And Will, a lot of the players coming out right now, when COVID hit, they were right in the middle of high school. I'm curious, what are you seeing in your conversations, your evaluations, as how maybe them going through that time has kind of shaped them differently than a lot of other players in the past?
I think the environment of college football has changed in general. And, you know, you throw the COVID year in there, and then, you know, there's some players that are in this draft that are 24 years old, 25 years old. And it kind of changes the environment that we basically the premise that we start and do in this business is you're looking for guys, blah, blah, blah. It changes the conditions. NIL, there's guys that go to 3 different schools, all of that. It changes the environment. We have to adjust with that to try and get the right information, make sure we know who they are, you know, take all those things into consideration. It changes the puzzle a little bit.
Kyle Yeomans, Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, you know, and he's right because what happened with COVID is now we got older players in the league. I think this, you know, some people might have think this helped players, but it didn't help players. You know, you delayed some of these players by at least 2 years, and then they're coming out of this draft being 24 and 25 years old. Man, people don't have the patience with 24 and 25-year-old players like they have with 21 and 22-year-old players. So it's definitely changed the dynamic. Hopefully we're going to get out of that cycle here. We're going to get out of that cycle here pretty soon. Poopy D in the chat, what's going on with you? Yes, sir. I'm back at it, even though I got a cold today, but I am back at it. Alan Beckham, he said Jerry's favorite pick killed himself. Now that Weezer boy has got I see you, Alan. Yes, sir. Ice Cold, he said, I hope they don't let Gilly leave the Star without a contract. I said the same thing, Ice Cold. Don't let that man leave that Star without a contract. Yeah, oh, man, Solomon Jernigan. Yes, sir. Bad clock management. Poor situational football also. A lot of people, I hear them talk about talk about Mike McCarthy. Man, I don't even know who they're talking about. Mike McCarthy was a terrible situational play caller. Terrible, man. Terrible situational play caller. I mean, just everything about this dude just wasn't right when it comes to calling plays. Does he know some things about football operations? Mike McCarthy is one of them guys you wouldn't mind having on your football operations. You don't want him being the coach of your team, though. We've seen it twice now. Keek said they're prioritizing wide receiver 1 and 1 tech in the first 2 rounds. I don't see true 1 tech on current roster. Yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised, Keek, if it's going to be wide receiver in the first, running back in the second, and then that 1 tech you're talking about right there in the third. Again, yeah. Nah, I'm with you, Catherine, the kids. This man ain't stopping by to say hi. Shoot, this man's stopping by to get that contract. What he's stopping by to do? That's what he's stopping by to do. Oh, man. Timothy Govin, I would love for the Cowboys again. People keep talking about these Suttons and Coopers. No. Trey Hendrickson. I'd bring in Trey Hendrickson. I would. Keep beefing up your defense. 35 sacks in 2 years is nothing to sneeze at. I would. I'd bring him in. Hey, hey, man. Hey, let me tell you, what happened was I went to a birthday party, and the person who had the birthday party had a cold, and they blew the candles out, and I ate 2 slices of the cake.
That was TV. First one for Coach and then a follow-up for Will. But sticking with corners and cornerbacks, in the past there's been plenty of significant influence from coaching staffs and defensive staffs when looking at cornerback prospects. How do you guys view some of the measurables when you evaluate some of these corners?
Yeah, I think it's, there's certainly measurables. You want length, you want size, you want the ability to play press man-to-man. The big thing for us defensively is, Flu says it this way, there's no house guests. So everybody's got to be willing to tackle and support the run with the things that we do. But, again, they come in all shapes and sizes, man. And, again, a guy that's maybe a little bit, shorter, a guy a little bit maybe faster. Again, if they have the right play style, if they have the right temperament, and we see some of those things in that regard to play style, the physicality, the ability to, we're always looking for ball skills. We call it ball production. If you find ways to create turnovers, that's really a good thing for your team. And again, I think Will and his staff did an incredible job with that. So it was very seamless for us from a coaching staff to be able to speak to Jerry and Steven and Will and his staff, because they did such a great job of kind of setting the table. I'll say it this way. I mean, honestly, the scouts are the experts. Like, these are the guys at 365, 24/7. They are on the road. They are working. They know these guys better than anybody else. And then what's been great for us is the communication process of what we want from the system or the players that fit into the system. That's where it's been such a cool conversations.
And Will, 4 defensive coordinators since the start of 2020, how much of a challenge has that placed on you and your staff to get that right and have those conversations back and forth to make sure that the owners of the restaurant that you talked about earlier are on the same page?
I think ultimately we have to know the value and be consistent with the value of players, right? We've got to value them the same way year after year, not depending upon the strength or the weakness of the draft, so that you have a standard that you abide by. So when we say a first-round corner, we all know what a first-round corner is. There are certain measurables and things that you look at because that's what plays in the league, and that's what's had the most success. We look at all that information, and then as Shotty says, we got to dig into the people. The biggest mistakes are made when it's the people that you get. It's what are you putting them into and who's communicating with them. So a big part of what we're doing is understanding the coaches, what we're trying to do, and then get to know the players and try and figure out the fit as well as the ability. So with the input of the coaches and our whole staff and the scouts doing that, we're trying to get to know the players as well.
Joe.
Joe Trahan, WFA TV. Jerry, this was for you. Steve was talking before about that CD draft when you picked him, the Micah draft when you picked him. Can you describe what the room is like once the draft goes live and you're waiting to see how you have to read and react as players come off the board?
Yeah. I think, to me, as they come off, I'm just focusing on what happens when he gets there. Okay? If as they're coming off, I don't like there, then I'm saying, boys, is that phone ringing? And by the way, you've heard me say this 1,000 times. picking up the phone and calling will not do the job. The phone has to be ringing. Well, if I'm not hearing that phone ringing and it's not ringing, then you start really looking at your alternatives. We traded that. Mike is perfect. Mike is perfect. We get there, boy, they want a top one, but we had right below, you've heard this story a million times, we traded down and didn't take Micah then because we got something there and we still had two. Well, then the rest of them went, and there you got Micah. That's the classic exercise right there. You got playing it. Didn't exactly work right for us, but we ended up getting a top player after all. And so the big thing, I think Will hit it the very best of all the mistakes, which is the hardest thing to evaluate, is the player person, and their desire, what's inside them. And I mean, you just can't substitute for somebody that has got talent plus that. And so there's a whole lot of time spent around here looking for what's inside these guys, and should be. And that's something we look at real good. This bunch was hot about what was inside Martin when he was dropped, what was inside him. We were hot about what was inside of Tyron Smith, what was inside him, what had gotten back from him. And that's when we've really done the best.
And then, Stephen, for you, you talked a couple times about not reaching when you have players that are similar.
That boy Jerry be killing it, boy. Niecy said, she said, OMG, now a story. Boy, he be killing us, for sure. Hit that like button. I agree with Katharina Kish. Y'all hit that like button if you haven't already. Stephen is trying, Niecy, I'm with you. Stephen tried not to laugh, because Stephen is kind of, it seemed like there are three people up there on the same page. And then there's one person there. There's one person there, he's a wild card. So, Intelligence said that the Law Nation's reporting the Texans won our 12th pick for a first round 25th in 2025 and a second round 58 and a 2026 and second round pick. Very interesting. I think it depends on the mindset the Cowboys are in. You know, but boy, that first round. Now, you know what? You think about this, Intelligence Savage. And I'm sure Law Nation has thought about this too. This becomes the issue, though, when you start looking at getting these, trading with a team like the Texans. Trading with a team like the Texans for a next year pick. Texans, man, they might actually be a team that's winning. You know, they may be a team that's winning, and so you may wind up even being a little bit further back in that second round, just depends upon, you know, unless they got a solidified number 58 in 2026. But the first, if they trade, let's see, the 25th pick in this draft, again, if you look at the projections, the Cowboys could still get Emeka, Luther Burden III back there, and then still come right back around and get Travion Henderson or Quinshawn Judkins. So, again, hey, whoever come up, they better be talking about something. They definitely better be talking about giving up something if I'm the Cowboys. Because the Cowboys have got to make sure that number 12 pick, man, they got to make sure that thing yields dividends. It's got to yield dividends. It does.
But my question is this, because you said this a lot through the years. Have you done enough in free agency to make sure that you can be clean in this year's draft and not have to reach for a need, even in the later rounds?
Yeah, I think, you know, that's what I was mentioning at corner with Elam. You know, I think we did overall a much better job than, let's say, last year of really, doing quite a bit of volume in terms of really improving our roster and giving us, the opportunity and having an environment where we can pick the best player. And I think our work we did in free agency is going to really pay off. I think it's going to make us a deeper football team one way or the other. And what we add through this draft should, just make us better and increase the depth that we have. And, most of the time, 99% of the time, that's our goal in free agency, not necessarily to go out and sign, the highest paid guys. Obviously, we signed one. He was our own, Osa, to a big deal. But, that's the way we look at free agency. And historically, we've had, a lot of success in getting those guys, which I think in turn has led, as Jerry mentioned, it's just if you look at the number of starters you've gotten, the number of Pro Bowlers, the number of All-Pro guys, we've drafted at a high level compared to the rest of the league.
I have a feeling the Cowboys are still going to I have a feeling the Cowboys are still going to the Cowboys are going to sign Michael Parsons. There's no doubt in my mind. I don't even, no, it's not going to be a holdout.
Yeah, that inherently happens when you're negotiating with great players. I mean, you can find examples all over the league. San Francisco with Bosa, I don't think he came in till 2 days before the first game, and I think they had a hell of a playoff.
Catherine, I'm glad you reminded me. I meant to comment on Stephen Jones. Yes, Stephen Jones, y'all did a bang-up job this year in free agency. And anybody who says they didn't, I don't know. Maybe it's because they didn't get who you wanted. But, again, I think Stephen Jones and the crew did a bang-up job in free agency. And I think it's going to set them up for next year to where they're going to get even – they're going to be able to say next year they'll be even more selective as in quality over quantity. They did a bang-up job. And I don't think it got them to the point to where they could get the BPA. But what I do think it got them to the point of to where they can address the skill positions in the draft. And for me, that's what you want because – the defensive positions, unless you're a super stud, they just take more time to develop. They just take more time to develop. Defensive linemen take more time to develop unless they're a generational player. Cornerbacks and safeties definitely take time to develop unless you're getting like the best cornerback in the draft. The position that probably translates the best on the defensive side of the ball is the linebacker because that position it relies a lot more than the others, I would dare say, on athleticism. Okay, linebacker, you're pretty much like, okay, see the ball, go get the ball. I mean, those when you got speed, that'll pay off. Even when we think about Michael Parsons, what has made Michael Parsons so good in the early part of his career is his athleticism. I mean, we've yet to see the part of Michael Parsons, and I think we're going to see it going forward. We have yet to see the part as it pertains to Michael Parsons where we're going to start seeing where he's going to start taking advantage of people with his overall technique. Takes time for defensive players to get to that point. But when you're talking about offensive players, guys who can run the ball, hey, man, hey, come do what you do. All we got to do is show you where to line up, show you where to run. Well, they'll do the rest. They will. They'll do the rest. Boy, D. Webb, that's one of my favorite shows. Looking like an episode of King of the Hill. That's one of my favorite shows. Yeah, they were. They lived up to it, didn't they? Selectively aggressive. For sure. Robert Dudley said he has been successful in the biz. I'll give it to him too. But again, once in a while, Hank Hill gets a visit from Tom Ledger. Oh, man, I love that. I'm waiting on it to come back. They said it was coming back in 2025. I hadn't heard anything. But again, how many owners of 0 Super Bowls? But again, yeah, they did a pretty good job in free agency, and it's really set them up to go in here and get the wide receiver they need.
Run. So, everybody wants to look for reasons, and we're always critiquing ourselves as to why we didn't have a good season. And I know one of the things that come up other than injuries is the fact that, although Dak never missed a practice, he never missed anything that he was required to be at. The flip side of that is CD did. And so that becomes an issue. But I don't think it is. I just think it inherently comes with the territory. I mean, you look around the league, and most of these players who are getting these very top contracts, it does take time to ultimately get there. And believe me, if we could sign Micah to a number we wanted to sign him to, we'd do it right now. But right now, there's a difference in what we feel like is the right number and what he feels like is the right number.
And a quick follow-up to that. I mean, there's a...
You know, guys, though, this Micah Parsons contract stuff is really, I know I'm probably the only one in this realm, but the Micah Parsons contract is really rubbing me the wrong way. We went from a guy who was saying he sees no difference between 30 and 40 million to a guy who now seems to be wanting to be the highest paid non-quarterback in NFL history. All of the things that he was saying about the money wasn't that big of a deal. He wants these players around him. So it makes me wonder, does he not consider the players they put around him good enough? I mean, this Micah Parsons thing, to me, it's just really rubbing me the wrong way. And I'm just in a different headspace with this, because if the Joneses don't take a stand, this is going to continue. Not only with Micah Parsons, this is going to continue with every player that comes up for a contract with the Dallas Cowboys. They're all going to just say, well, we'll either hold out and get what we'll hold out and get what we want, and we won't be men of our words when it comes to things that we might say about contracts. This thing with Micah Parsons is really rubbing me the wrong way. It really is. It really is. All of the talking that Micah Parsons was doing outside of his agent, and then gets mad when Jerry approaches him with a contract without his agent. And now we're talking about Micah Parsons holding out, which I got a feeling the Cowboys are going to sign Micah Parsons in the next couple of weeks. But this contract would really be rubbing me the wrong way if I was Jerry and Steven, because, again, I mean, this dude literally said there's no difference between $30 and $40 million. People were criticizing me because I was saying that it was crazy for him to even be saying that when there is a difference between $30 and $40 million. And that's not his conversation now. His conversation now, it seems to be all about Micah Parsons being the highest paid player. The highest paid non-quarterback in NFL history. And then the news broke on Shannon Sharpe about Shannon Sharpe and the $100 million deal. And he started talking about it. You think I'm going to stop podcasting? Ain't no way after hearing that news. I just can't. That kind of talk just don't sit well with me. You're talking about Shannon Sharpe doing all of this stuff after he played football. After he played football. Shannon Sharpe's little local thing was nothing back in them days. Man, nobody outside of Denver was listening to Shannon Sharpe. But when we're talking about Micah Parsons, man, you know, the star travels even further now because of the internet. And so when you start talking about Micah Parsons and podcasts, this stuff is just not sitting well with me. Don't get me wrong, man. I love Micah Parsons as a player, but he seems to be a walking contradiction. And while I see growth in some areas, I'm seeing other areas to where there is no growth. And this thing with his contract, to me, it's crazy. It's crazy. And if I was the Joneses, I might not say you're going to stop the podcast, but I'm sorry, brother. We're going to have a conversation about the stipulations of what you can and cannot say on that podcast. And if you don't like it, well, we're going to have to do something. We're going to do something different. And again, to compare a podcast to what you're doing while you're playing to a podcast that Shannon Sharpe is doing while he is not playing, that's not apples and oranges. It's not apples and oranges. And again, man, this stuff with Micah Parsons, bro, I mean, sisters and brothers, y'all tell me what y'all think. But, man, this thing with Micah Parsons, it's rubbing me the wrong way. It really is. It's rubbing me the wrong way. Katharina says, me too, G. Crap should have been done. I think that part was a lie about Parsons taking a team-friendly deal. Katharina, it's rubbing me the wrong way. Michael Parsons deal, if you listen to Michael Parsons, that doggone deal should have been done. Not because of Jerry, but because of him. He's the one, and everybody was talking about, yeah, man, he's a real team player. What them people at now? Where are those people now? Where are those people who were trying to give him all the credit and poo-poo on Dak Prescott? Yeah, Dak Prescott, he wants all the money and blah, blah, blah. Well, where are you on Michael Parsons? How does he deserve the money and Dak don't deserve the money, and they're both on the same team? The same games that we're saying Dak has been losing, Michael's been using. And Dak's performance has been better in those games than Michael Parsons' performances. I'm just telling you. The Michael Parsons stuff is rubbing me the wrong way. This is all contradictory to me. And whether it be him or his agent, man, you can tell your agent what to do. Obviously, your agent can't tell you what to do, but you can tell your agent what to do. I just don't like the whole thing with Michael Parsons. It's rubbing me the wrong way. Chanel said Michael was talking cash cow just the same way that the Browns' best defensive player, Myles Garrett, said he wanted out. Facts. Bill Hardman, sometimes Michael talks out of both sides of his mouth. Facts. I mean, it's just, it rubs me the wrong way. It is. Timothy Govan, he said Michael Parsons is creating drama on the low. That's not leadership. Come on, dude. Again, it's funny to me. Jaron Woodson said, shouldn't be spending time in the offseason talking about contracts. And again, y'all know how I feel about somebody getting their money. Get your money. But don't be talking about the money don't matter, but then when the rubber meets the road, now the money matters. Oh, now the money matters. No, man, it's just rubbing me the wrong way. It's just rubbing me the wrong way, I'm just saying. Don't make sense to me. Steve and Jerry Jones both are aggressive in free agency and draft class because Dallas fans have made fun, and also they're afraid the fans stop supporting them. Robert Dudley, it made a difference. It did. Intelligent Savage says Steve Smith 89 podcast has Maurice Jones-Drew talk taking the running back. Interesting breakdown of the top 8 running backs for him. Hope you check that out. That list was something to think on. I looked at the first one that Maurice Jones-Drew did. I'll go back and see if he's done a new one. Poobie D, got my back. Boy, you hitting it right on the head. They wait until everyone get paid before they offer the contract. This is a part of their fault too, Poobie D. The moment this dude said he would have took a cheaper contract, they should have signed him right then. Should have signed him right then. Needs to say, what if they trade Michael to Cleveland for Garrett? And that contract says it sounds like he wants more than 40. Hey, it's a great point. It's a great point. Straight up facts. Straight up facts. Yeah, a part of this is their fault, Angie. Chanel, he said all Michael wants to make the most money at DN instead of his drafted position of linebacker due to Dan Quinn letting him do whatever he wanted. Facts. Absolute facts. Troy Dilley, I like Michael, but he is not the best non-quarterback in the league or has not been used that way. I agree with you on that too. Yep, Poobie D, they need to start waiting until the last minute. Absolute facts. Yeah, I'm telling you, what's going on, Stephen White? I'm telling us, I mean, this whole thing is rubbing me the wrong way. It is. It's just rubbing me the wrong way. Oh, quack, quack. I agree with you, it's a new era, but the problem that I have is I don't have a problem with it getting paid, quack, because that was my point from the beginning. My problem with Michael was him saying that there was no difference between 30 and 40 million. He's been blessed so much in his life, he don't need anything else. Only for him now to come to when the rubber meets the road and the pen meets the paper, all of a sudden all that matters. All that matters. Because again, quack, I'm in total agreement with anybody. Get your money. But don't be telling us the money don't matter, and then when it comes down when the pen meets the paper, oh, the money do matter. That's why I said from the beginning, quack, hey man, be quiet. Let your agent do the talking. That's what you hired him for. Let your agent do the talking. That way you don't look stupid and hypocritical when you come back and start doing things that you said you were not going to do. Let your agent do the talking. That's what you hired him for. Let your agent do the talking rather than you saying stuff you don't mean. And so now we in a situation which I don't think it's going to get to this point. I got a feeling they're going to sign Micah Parsons in the next couple of weeks. I do. I don't think they're going to let it get to the point of him holding out. And they don't need to let it get to that point. Micah Parsons needs to be in training camp. They don't need to be practicing without Micah Parsons. They don't need to be practicing without him. He needs to be there for the practices. They do. Richard Villegas, I agree with you. Dak balls out on games that Micah doesn't. Straight facts. Straight facts. Chanel, Micah always was talking BS. He knew that the only way he could make real money was to classify himself as a DN. The league should pay players as to the position they were drafted from college. I'm telling you, facts. It just don't make sense. Robert Dudley says Micah I love, but he needs to do a couple of comes on TV. Gorilla Glue, man, I'm telling you, I don't like this situation with Micah Parsons, but it is a part of their fault too. They need to get this deal done. And the issue is they've put themselves in a situation to where because you do so much talking and then you cave, you're just going to keep doing this to every player that's under this agency. They're all going to do the same thing. Just hold out, man. Hold out. I would love to know if this is fact, quack. Think about this. Why didn't Dak hold out? Do we think that's Dak's agent's decision or Dak's decision? I'm willing to bet y'all. They advised Dak Prescott to hold out, and he said no. I guarantee you they advised him to hold out. He said no. That's why Stephen Jones mentioned him, because Dak will not, he refused to hold out. He did. Drew 912, good to see you in the crib. He says, how come no one has an issue when an owner signs a player to a 5-year deal? Then after 3 years, he doesn't want to honor the contract they negotiated sign with the player. Drew 912, you missing my point. Get your money, man. Get your money. I don't have no problems. Anybody's listening to me. I don't care. Players, get your money. It's their job to manage the salary cap. It's not for you to be talking about, yeah, I'm taking team-friendly deals. I want to make sure players are around me. There's no difference between 30 and 40 million. And then when it comes time for the pen to hit the paper, your whole conversation changed. This is the problem I have with Micah Parsons. Don't be a hypocrite. A man is only as good as his word. You hired your agent to negotiate your deal. Stop talking in the court of public opinion about your deal, trying to make yourself look better than the quarterback who became the highest paid quarterback in the league, the highest paid player in the league. Don't try to throw shade on him. And now here you are trying to be the highest paid non-quarterback in the NFL history. Don't do that to your quarterback. You look hypocritical. And you don't look hypocritical. You are hypocritical. I got problems with this all the way around. I do. Miss Matrix, she said, gee, people will argue Dak did the same thing when he said it's not about the money. 7 days before he was the highest paid quarterback. Miss Matrix, I tell you something that Dak didn't do. Dak said it wasn't about the money, and I understood exactly what he was saying. When you are one of the best at your position, the money comes with the game. It's part of the game. You top 5 in your position, it's a part of the game. It is. This is one of the reasons why Dak was also saying, I'm preparing myself to play somewhere else. I'm not going to be mad if the Cowboys don't sign a deal. Dak was saying all that stuff. Katharina Kiss. Parsons still has 1 year in his contract. I don't think he would hold out, honestly. Katharina Kiss. Now, that's the part Jerry just mentioned. See, Jerry just said something. See, Michael is wanting an extension. Jerry is saying something. If Michael holds out, he knows the ramifications. That's what he's saying. Michael knows the ramifications if he holds out. That's what he's saying. Chanel, I guarantee you, his agents advised him. He said no. See, Dak let his agents handle their part, and Dak said, my responsibility is to be on the field. Poobie D, I think they should sign Brandon Aubrey early. I don't know why they're waiting on Brandon Aubrey. Sign him now. And Brandon Aubrey is 30 years old. I don't understand why he's playing on a $1 million deal. I mean, that's crazy to me. Dak said he doesn't play this game for money. Again, don't all be the best. Understand that translation. He's not playing it for money. Money comes with the deal. You're not going to be good in this league and money don't come with it. Dak is a quarterback. Dak was saying something very simple. I don't play for the money. He's saying the money isn't my motivation. The money comes with it. I'm in total agreement. If you are the top in your position, you top 5 in your position in the world, you don't have to worry about the money. It's coming. The money is coming. And the reason why we know if Dak, let me tell you something. Don't all be the best. Let me prove to you again why I know what Dak was saying and how Dak proved what he was saying. You know how he proved it? Do we not understand? Dak Prescott didn't sign his deal until the morning of the first game of the season. If you're playing for the money, don't be the best. Explain to me again why you would risk practicing at training camp and you could easily break a leg, tear your knee. The injury that happened to his hamstring could have happened in training camp. You're out there risking every single injury known to man. You don't have a contract going into the next season. You're not playing for money when you're doing that. If you're playing for money, you're not going out there to practice. You're not practicing because you know that you could have an injury and it would drastically change your deal. That's how I know Dak Prescott wasn't playing for money. Money comes with the position that he plays. Money comes with being the best in your position. Money comes with it. The money was going to come with Micah Parsons. He was going to get the money. The problem I have with Micah Parsons is how he was trying to downplay the money. That's the problem I have with him. He was trying to downplay the money. He was trying to downplay his quarterback. Oh, might I remind you again, don't be the best. And no offense to you. I understand what you're saying. But might I remind you again what he said? You know what they say when you're the highest paid player. It's strange, isn't it? Strange, isn't it? Don't be the best. Isn't it strange? Or they're going to be saying that because he is actually the walking contradiction even to the comment that he made. So can you tell me again, Michael Parsons, how was Dak Prescott the highest paid player in NFL history? And you said that you can't have players around the highest paid player, and they've already signed CeeDee Lamb. They've already signed Oso Digizua. They've already signed Kevontae Turpin. They've signed all of these free agents, and they're about to sign you to the highest paid non-quarterback deal in the NFL. Explain to me again how you can't put players around the highest paid player? It's foolishness. It was foolishness, and that's why it's rubbing me the wrong way. It's not rubbing me the wrong way that he's getting his money because he was going to get his money. It's not rubbing me the wrong way because he was going to get his money. He's going to get his money. Get your money. It rubs me the wrong way when you try to be disingenuous. You try to put down your quarterback. You try to act like that you're better than him by saying, I just want to be a Cowboy for life. I got problems with that stuff. I'm built different. I'd have problems with that stuff. I'd be playing that recording in the office. I'd be playing that recording to his agent. I'd be using all that little stuff he said. I would be using that stuff against him. I would. You said there was no difference between 10 and there was no difference between 30 and 40 million. Can you explain to us why you want 40 million a year? Can you explain that to us? Well, Myles Garrett. Well, no. This isn't about Myles Garrett. This isn't about Max Crosby. This isn't about any other player that's signed. You said there was no difference between 30 and 40 million. We're holding you to it. You would have got 40 million. We're giving you 30 million. You would have got 42 million. We're giving you 32 million. That's my problem. That's my problem. And Dak Prescott again proved he wasn't playing for money, because if Dak Prescott was playing for money, he was a fool to be on that field. Because one of the first things that I said during that offseason, I was saying, Dak Prescott got a deal coming up. I don't understand why he's on the field. I understand why he's on the field. I understand why he's on the field, but he's putting himself in jeopardy. He is literally risking $200+ million being on that field. If you playing for money, let me tell you something. You're not stepping foot on that field. You're not. You're not stepping foot on that field, man. You're not. Micah Parsons. I don't like this whole thing with Micah Parsons. Part of it is their fault. They should have signed him when he first started talking that nonsense. They should have signed him. But how should that change what he said? So because they didn't sign him to a $30 million deal, he going to punish him with a $40+ million deal because they didn't sign him to a $30+ million deal? Make it make sense. Make that make sense. It don't make sense. But if this is how the Cowboys are going to operate, this agency that represents Dak Prescott, represents Micah Parsons, represents even Brandon Aubrey, every time a deal comes up, they're going to rake the Cowboys over the coals because the Cowboys keep showing that, hey, man, all they're going to do, they're going to try to not pay you, and then they're going to turn around paying you exactly what you want, so just sit on it. It doesn't make sense. Robert Dudley, you're hitting it right on the head. Agents are working over Dallas. They are. It is absolute fact. The devils are in the details behind the closed doors. And this is, I'm telling you exactly right. This is why a player should not be out there talking numbers of any kind. Do not be out there talking numbers, man. Don't do that. Don't make sense. Stephen White, he said, I don't think Mike is going to play anymore after this contract, 5 last years. You know what? We're going to see. The man said he wants to be a Cowboy for life. We're going to see. Because in order to be a Cowboy for life, you're not going to be able to keep hitting that lottery because you're not a quarterback. Because you're not a quarterback. You can't keep hitting the lottery like that. Daniel Washington, you're exactly right. The salary cap is a self-imposed limit created by the owners. Let them figure out how to sign players, not the players' responsibility. That's exactly what I said. I'm not trying to help you manage the salary cap. I'm not trying to give you team-friendly deals. I'm not doing that stuff. You're gonna give me whatever I want, you're gonna give it to me. Or I'll go somewhere else. But the problem is, again, when you start talking crazy, I just want to create the best situation. I just want to create a situation where players can play around me. When you start talking that nonsense, I got problems with this. I do. I got problems with this stuff. You're exactly right, Nisa. He doing what Zeke did. Yes. Dak Prescott stayed true to his word, whether people realize it or not. Dak Prescott, if he was playing for the money, he does not hit that field. He don't hit the practice field. You're risking your whole career. Dak, you don't hit the practice field, but he did. The dude, Brandon Aubrey, if you're listening, the GST calls become your new agent. Man, let me tell you something. I don't know how to work them numbers, but I tell you this. I'm just being for real. Brandon Aubrey is on $1 million deal this year, y'all. This is the last year of his contract. He's on $1 million deal. I'm just shocked. I'll be shocked if Brandon Aubrey, and I guess I can't say I'm shocked, but man, you're going to play, you're the best kicker in the league, you're 30 years old, and you're going to risk going out here kicking on $1 million? Knowing that you got a tremendous payday coming up. Hey, man, you'll see how a person thinks. And he must love the game. Robert Dudley, I say the same thing. Brandon Aubrey was the MVP last year, point blank. Michael Towery, I said the same thing. He said all these players, these people saying players should take team-friendly deals are hilarious. If they were in those players' shoes, they would be getting as much as they could. Michael Towery, I said the same thing. I don't have a problem with Michael Parsons getting his money. I have a problem with him trying to shame his quarterback for getting his money and acting like he was going to give this to, man, I said it when he said it. I said, we're going to see. Michael Parsons was talking like he about to get the Cowboys an insane team-friendly deal. Yeah, we're going to see. Now we're asking questions is if he going to hold out. Intelligent Savage, he said I would not follow. He said I really go out of my way not to follow Michael Jerry soap opera. 2 walking cartoon characters is more than enough for me. He said I want a cartoon. I'll check Cartoon Network. Yes, sir. It's like they're playing a game, man. It doesn't make sense. It's like they're playing a dumb game. Doesn't make sense. Woo, Poobie D. He said he's going to be the first kicker to get $100 million. Well, I can tell you this. It won't shock me because he's got the same representation as Dak Prescott. It will not surprise me. Yep. Timothy Govan, he's a linebacker wanting the salary. You're not made. They made the mistake of letting him play defensive end. Now he wants that defensive end money. And I'm not hating on him. I just don't like how this is shaking down because, one, the Joneses should have signed him early and held him to what he said. Now he ain't going to do it. Katharina Kiss, she said, gee, I don't think some of these people understand what Dak meant. And 90% of these people don't like Dak because he got paid anyway. But they'll love Michael Parsons for it. Doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. Oh, I got you. Don't know be the best. Yes, sir. He said, I'm agreeing with you. Yes, sir. And don't know be the best. I'm pretty sure you like me. You don't mind him getting his money. I do not mind him getting his money. Bro, get your money. You could walk out here today and be done in this league. And again, Drew 912 said something. This is why I don't tell players. I say players should get their money. These jokers can get tired of you on a whim and be done with you and say you out of here and don't even pay you the rest of that contract. It's amazing to me. The NFL is the most dangerous sport of all of them, and they don't have guaranteed contracts. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. It don't make sense to me. The dude, he said, Preacher G, all of the Dak haters never give Dak that credit for even being out there last year. Training camp getting ready. One injury to him, and that's big time hit on him with no security. That's how I knew he wasn't playing for money. The money comes with what he does. I was shocked Dak Prescott was out there playing. I was shocked, and I guarantee you, them agents told him don't play. George Riley, he said, no player works for free, and no one should ever count another man's money. You know your worth, and you don't have two objections in sports. You get money and win a Super Bowl or championship. George Riley said the same thing. I said the same thing. That's why I didn't like Michael Parsons saying that stuff. It was a bad message to the young players out there. Do not be listening to Michael Parsons with all this team-friendly deal stuff. Man, I bet you some of these people are not going to say anything, but I bet you they looking at him going, wow. I bet you that's what they're saying. Yeah, Michael said something frivolously and basically lied to us. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Don't be the best. Straight up facts. Straight up facts. So let's listen to one more question, then I'm going to get out of here. And matter of fact, what I'll do is I'm going to come back and we're going to finish this interview. We'll come back and finish this interview tomorrow because, again, we're going to need some stuff to talk about until Thursday. And we're going to do some call-ins tomorrow and stuff like that. And we're going to let the callers, y'all going to do the mock draft. Y'all going to pick player by player. Drew 912, he said, you're going to put players around the highest paid players, but what quality players are you going to get? That is the issue. Well, I can tell you this, Drew 912, the Cowboys are proving Michael Parsons wrong because the Cowboys have actually put quality players around him and Dak Prescott. Look at what they did on defense. Dallas's defense right now with no draft, Dallas's defense looks way better. Way better than what it did last year. Way, way better. They went and got Michael Parsons help. They got him help. They did. They absolutely got him help. The only thing they need to address on this team right now on the defense is cornerback, safety. They've addressed the other positions. They look better everywhere on defense other than cornerback, and that's because of Travion Diggs and losing Jay Lou. But they bought in Kyrie Elam. I'm hoping they bring in Stephon Gilmore. That'll show them up at the cornerback position. Carson will be back. We got Marquise Bell. We're going to see if they're going to place him at safety. They've already addressed some of these things. The defense looks better. They did that for Micah Parsons. And when they go in the draft, they should look even better. Go in this draft, get you a wide receiver, running back. I would say get you a defensive tackle in the 3rd round. Get you some more depth behind one Mozzie Smith. I would love for them to go get Trey Hendrickson. I would love for them to go get Asante Samuel Jr. The Cowboys have opportunities to still improve upon the team, but they look better than they did last year. They do. They did. And they're putting players around them, just like, that's why I was saying Micah should have never been saying none of this stuff, because Micah going to find out something. Micah going to find out something. You let people build you up all you want to. The same people that build you up going to be the same people that tear you down. Again, I like Micah Parsons, though. I want the Cowboys to go ahead and sign Micah Parsons to stop this nonsense. He's just rubbing me the wrong way, and they're already asking, is he going to be a holdout? So tomorrow we're going to resume. We're resuming. We'll finish this interview, and we'll be talking about any other draft stuff they're talking about. I'm pretty sure they're going to be talking about all kinds of crazy draft stuff when it comes to the Dallas Cowboys. Yes, Katharina Kiss, the Cowboys realize this now. It's a team sport. They need to do for Dak Prescott exactly what they did for Troy Aikman. Put a doggone team around him and stop all the crazy nonsense. Quack, quack. He said, this is a wonderful place. I really did enjoy myself. OG talking Cowboys. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Appreciate you. Appreciate your support. Again, the dude, he says, Hendrickson is the silver and blue with a star on his helmet. And I'd be hearing the Hard Knocks theme all day long with that news. Oh, man. Love to get this dude in here, man. I would. Yes, sir. Bill Hardiman, he said, you right, G. Man, I would love to get him in here. I would. Angie, she said, thank you. Great show. Fire. Yes. Angie, damn, she said, I'm sick of the BS on Dak. Yes. Yes. I'm with you, too. But Dak, he going to prove a lot of people wrong these next couple of years. I'm telling you, I believe Dak Prescott is about to have 4 of the best years of his career up under Brian Schottenheimer if he stays healthy. It's the only thing that can stop him. Injuries, guys, we got to understand, injuries has really been the only thing that stopped Dak Prescott. They're finally putting players around him. I'm happy. We're going to see what he does with them. Yes, Katharina Kiss, you have a great weekend. I'm about to get out of here. Front office, he said they adding bodies. That glass is either half full or half empty. I think they're adding players. He says it's the mental makeup of the individual they focus on more. I think that's what they're working on, too. I think they got it. All right, guys, I appreciate you. Look forward to seeing y'all again tomorrow on Let's Talk Cowboys, where we talk facts. Peace. Appreciate you, Miss Matrix. Appreciate you, Nisi. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Yes, studio reveal Thursday and Friday. We're going to be working on it all the way through Friday, so you're going to see some things. It's going to look different Thursday and Friday, but we are back in, I'm going to call it right now, Nisi, we're going to be back in the blue room come Thursday. God be willing. Appreciate you, Stephen White. Appreciate you, the dude. Y'all have a good night. Till next time. Peace.